started with nothing in humble beginnings. They wanna fuck with me now cause I'm winning. Chasing this chicken cause I'm on a mission. I'm known for get money and standing on business. Chasing this chicken, I ran up a ticket. Chasing this chicken, I ran up a ticket. Chasing this chicken, I ran up a ticket. Keep that shit coming, they know how we living. Come from the struggle, got lost in the hustle. Straight out the mud, no I compliment couples. Chasing big bills just to keep this shit subtle. You ain't on my team if you wasn't in the huddle. Chasing this chicken, I ran up a ticket. Chasing this chicken, I ran up a ticket. Chasing this chicken, I ran up a ticket. Keep that shit coming, they know that I'm with it. I fit the description, I'm the definition. I'm what they prescribe like she seen a physician. She wanna ride cause she seen how we getting it. Big ol' booty, she my passenger princess. She like to argue, she don't like to listen. She bougie and toxic, she fine and she picky. Pretty and sedity, she get recognition. Matching nails and toes, man, she always French tip 'em. Parking lot pimping when we in the city. Don't ask about twine, she twerk on the engine. She eat the dick in the car cause it's tinted. She pay me attention like she get commission. Pimpin' CEO, so I give her the business. She ride on the dick like she doing some fitness. She make the dick disappear like she magician. She like to swallow, man, she love when I finish. Having motion, man, you know I got plenty. Bitches choosing cause they know that I'm winning. Seen some thousands, now I'm after some millions. So all my houses come with chandelier ceilings. Pillow talking, man, that shit just ain't in me. Keep it pimpin', I can't do no pretending. Jealous hearted, man, you know I ain't with it. Cuffin' hoes, I can't do no commit. No, we started with nothing in humble beginnings. They wanna fuck with me now cause I'm winning. Chasing this chicken cause I'm on a mission. I'm known for get money and standing on business. Chasing this chicken, I ran up a ticket. Chasing this chicken, I ran up a ticket. Chasing this chicken, I ran up a ticket. Keep that shit coming, they know how we living. Come from the struggle, got lost in the hustle. Straight out the mud, no I compliment couples. Chasing big bills just to keep this shit subtle. You ain't on my team if you wasn't in the huddle. Chasing this chicken, I ran up a ticket. Chasing this chicken, I ran up a ticket. Chasing this chicken, I ran up a ticket. Keep that shit coming, they know that I'm with it.
Yeah, chat. Y'all locked, man. What we doing tonight, chat? Y'all locked? Double tap the screen on your way in, man.
I'm a saint, but I sin. I checked in the game to win. I left, she loving me again. I let her cry out the bins and they say time heal. Mine still felt like it was yesterday. How we're moving fast, probably too fast to even catch the play. Spend some night, she pack a bag, right to me, just getting gas. Coming back, I want it bad. I'ma touch it first, eat it last, it's temporary. Holly damn emotion said it's temporary. My pain deeper than the ocean. Temporary feelings mixed with temporary pleasures. All these temporary moments and these temporary treasures. Temporary circumstances to temporary measures. Temporary friends and even temporary schedules. Temporary smiles and temporary goals. Temporary women sliding on temporary poles. Temporary comments and temporary trolls. I just pray that God bless me. Ain't no temporary souls. I'm a saint, but I sin. I checked in the game to win. I left, she loving me again. I let her cry out the bins and they say time heal. Mine still felt like it was yesterday. How we're moving fast, probably too fast to even catch the play. Spend some night, she pack a bag, right to me, just getting gas. Coming back, I want it bad. I'ma touch it first, eat it last, it's temporary. Holly damn emotion said it's temporary. My pain deeper than the ocean.
Yeah, chat. What we doing tonight, chat? Double tap the screen, shut a live out, man. Y'all know what time it is, man. Y'all know what time it is, chat.
Welcome to the greatest damn show on YouTube.
That shit sound about right. Hold on.
Welcome to the greatest damn show on YouTube.
Oh, man. Double tap the screen, shut a live out. What we doing tonight, chat? Double tap the screen, shut a live out. What we doing tonight, chat? Hey, talking about Trump rejects Netanyahu's strategy. The energy crisis hits hard. Ukraine deal on the table. And I want to know who sold us out. What's up, Ricky? Nah, I ain't put that out yet either, Ricky. Them all exclusive leaks, man. Shout out to, Ricky, man. Shout out to Ricky. Chat. We got an action-packed episode, man. We got an action-packed episode, man. We're gonna get into Of course, the peace deal being rejected. Netanyahu and Trump's strategies in this war look to be completely different. Iran said that they want total control of the Strait of Hormuz. We also have Qatar stepping back from the war. I don't know what's going on with that. We got a Piers Morgan debate. I forgot who he had over there. Tucker Carlson is coming out saying what America first really is and what's going on. Caroline Levitt did a press briefing. We haven't seen her in like what, 2 weeks it's been since we heard from old Caroline. Also, the United Nations voted 123-3 in favor to condemn the enslavement of millions of Africans in the transatlantic slave trade. Only 3 countries voted against it: the United States of America, Israel, and Argentina. The UK and the EU, the UK and the EU, they all abstained. They didn't vote. I guess they just abstained. So we'll get into that as well. We got some of the peace agreements. Oh, in Chicago, an all-AI elementary school is opening up in the fall. There will be no teachers. And off the back of that, we got Melania Trump walking a damn robot around the White House talking about these robots are going to replace the teachers. Man, I don't know, chat. We're sold out. We're sold out. Also, Netanyahu came out speaking today. Let's see, what else do we have here? What else? Oh, the energy crisis. We'll hear from about the energy crisis, and we'll hear about the diesel. Australia is out of diesel. They're saying tens of thousands of liters it takes just to grow a single crop. So they're saying price we are about to be hit hard. I do got some miscellaneous clips. This clip of Druski is going viral, chat. This clip of this clip of Druski is going viral, man. They're saying he's taking shots at Erica Kirk. A lot of the conservatives are mad at Druski, saying that this is distasteful. It's not the time. It's not the place. I want to know how you guys feel about it. Is Druski a comedian? Is it all fun, you know, when it's comedy? Or is Druski going too far? He never said Erica Kirk's name. He just said conservative women. Let's get into the clip, chat. I haven't watched the full clip yet. 3, 4. He is out there dancing the T Grizzly.
War is raging in Iran.
We're praying for all the soldiers and troops.
That's great that you're praying, but
Oh, he's making it seem like she's doing Illuminati hand signs. Chat, I'm not gonna lie. Druski look a little bit like Sarah Huckabee Sanders in this clip. I'm not gonna lie, chat. He looks a little bit like Sarah Huckabee Sanders in this clip. It's a little crazy.
war is raging in Iran.
We're praying for all the soldiers and troops.
That's great that you're praying, but
How about all the kids that died when the USA hit the towers?
It broke my heart. That is the
In what ways have you grown closer to Jesus?
I serve a righteous God. And that is why we say our prayers. We are all his children.
Y'all think Erica Kirk could sue Druski for this, chat? Press 1 if you think Erica Kirk could and should sue Druski for this, man. Press 2 if that's not what's going on.
But when I say children, I mean like the holy, blessed Trinity, which is why I hold the Bible.
Sweet cream foam chai ice matcha. And Bella will have all organic pup cup. Organic? Yes, everything organic.
K-Cell, what it do?
We have to protect all men in America, especially all white men in America. Those are the boys that we
Hey, she really did say that. What's up, C-Raj? What's up, Lala? What's up, Essence? This Druski acting like Erica Kirk, but in the caption he didn't put her name. He put conservative women in America. He put conservative women. That is crazy, bro. That's crazy, man.
care about in this country. America is built on their backs. Yes. Because they are the ones who mattered most.
That shit is crazy. So that's already at 11 million views, man. I thought that I would bring that to y'all to get y'all's thoughts and opinions, man. Let's get into the actual news chat. We got a lot to cover. We're going to get into it, but we have to hit 100 likes, chat. I need your help. Let's everybody double tap the screen right now or go to the top and hit the like button. We have to get to 100 likes in that first hour, chat. We got to get to 100 likes. So everybody hit the like button. We're going to get into this energy crisis, man. We're going to get into the energy crisis. It's already hitting a lot of countries hard. I seen in India, they're actually fighting at the gas stations. I'm saying thousands, hundreds of scooters lined up at the gas pumps. They're out there fighting with damn gas cans and man, chat. It's going on. It's going on right now, chat. I'm not gonna lie. Let's get into this fuel crisis though.
Well, g'day. Here we go again. Sorry about the usual intro. Standing here in front of the centre pivot, you see the diesel tank, everything behind me. The crop you see behind me is a maize crop. This is mainly targeted at our clowns in Canberra, Macquarie Street, and you know, particularly Labor and the coalition, particularly, you know, obviously Matt Canavan, his attack on us and things like that. Yes, here I'm a One Nation hat, got my One Nation stubby hole. Yeah, having a white rabbit at the end of the day. This maize crop you see behind me, yeah, this will produce approximately 2,000 tonne of maize. And it really is also directed at the metropolitan area, so they actually understand what goes into food and fibre production. So just a few statistics they understand. This crop was sown back in October. It's now, you know, whatever date it is, the 20th of March or whatever it is. This crop's ready to harvest. It's taken 90,000 litres of diesel to get to this point.
So he's saying the crop is ready to harvest. It's taking 90,000 liters of diesel to get to this point. And now that it's time to harvest, he needs more diesel to be able to harvest all of this crop. And there's no diesel in Australia. So what is he going to do? There's no way he can get all of this crop done any other way than with the machinery. He needs the diesel.
Pivots to run the pumps to pump the water, to run the tractors, the seeders, the sowing, the speed tillers, but we've still got to get it off. Now Australia's in this fuel crisis. The powers to be try to claim we're not in a fuel crisis. We need another 5,000 or 10,000 litres to get this crop off. And yet, Albo in his wisdom, yes fine, he's releasing 20% of our emergency reserves. We shouldn't be in this position. I mean, this crop, this is only 2,000 tonnes. So think about those statistics, but this crop is only 2,000 tonne of a national crop of approximately, on average, about roughly 400,000 tonne. So what's that, 0.05%, something like that, whatever it is. This is the magnitude, but because this crop has to sit here now, luckily it can for the time, but this goes into your corn chips, your corn flour, your bread, your cereal.
So what he's saying is right now with the fuel crisis going on, crops have to take priority. The crops that can stay out there will have to stay out there because they have to prioritize the crops that just can't go without being harvested. So this you said diesel is a byproduct of fuel production. It should be cheaper than fuel, but it's not. That's crazy, chat. I see y'all saying his video is kind of low, so I'm gonna move on from that video because he is kind of low. I don't know. But this is what's going on in India right now. Speaking of the fuel crisis, look at how this gas station is slammed. This was real time from earlier. This was a gas station in India. Now, look at this, chat. Look at that, man. Look at all of those motorcycles and mopeds and shit, man. What are you supposed to do, Chad? What are you going to do if you pull up to fill up your car and the gas station is like that, man? Nah, that video was just low, AR Stoner. What are y'all going to do if you pull up at the gas station and it looks like this? This is actually going on right now in India. What are y'all going to do, Chad? Are you going to be able to survive, man? Are you going to be able to make it to work? What are you going to do, Chad? Walk. Erica, is it feasible for you to walk to work? How many of you guys can actually say that it is feasible for you to walk to your place of employment today? How many of y'all can actually walk? A lot of people have a 30-minute drive, a 1-hour drive. How the hell can they walk? 30 minutes one way, an hour one way. Catch a bus? See, what if you don't live in the city, H-Buster? What if your job is in the next city over? A bus might not take you there. Bus might not take you to the next city. Now you got to reevaluate your place of employment. Rogie got the idea, I'll just work from home. How many people have worked from home, Rogie? How many work from home jobs are actually hiring, Rogie? Electric bike that does 40 miles in a single charge, you're going to have to do something. Erica, you said your fiance will make his dad drive him. How? Your step-pops won't be able to get gas either. You think he just got the magic key? He won't be able to get gas either. He's fucked too. I see the larger point, Drip. It's restricting travel. Airlines are cutting back on flights. They're saying plane tickets going up 25%. Diesel's not moving. That means logistics are slowed. They just put an 8% surcharge on all packages at USPS. What are we doing? H-Buster said it happened in the 70s. The 70s was a different America, H-Buster. That's what's going on right now, chat. That's what's going on right now. Before we get into the AI, let's hear what Caroline has to say about this energy crisis. Let's hear what Caroline has to say about the energy crisis before we get into the transatlantic slave trade and we get into the AI robots at the White House. Let's see what Caroline has to say.
We are gardeners.
No, we shouldn't be on the damn ad version. We should be on the ad-free version. That's what's going on, chat. I ain't gonna lie. All right, chat. Here we go. This Caroline.
To announce that President Trump's meeting and a long-awaited meeting with President Xi in China will now take place in Beijing on May 14th and 15th. First Lady Melania and President Trump will also host President Xi and Madam Peng for a reciprocal visit in Washington, D.C. at a later date to be announced this year. Turning to the ongoing military operations in Iran, the United States military continues to decimate the terrorist Iranian regime's offensive and defensive capabilities. Just over 3 weeks in, it's abundantly clear that
Well, that's the thing, Caroline, because we hear this, and it just came out today that every morning Trump gets a highlight reel. They showing him all the explosions, everything going boom, so he thinks we're just winning this war, which could very well may be true. But the economic war that Iran is fighting hasn't went anywhere. Trump said that, open up the Strait of Hormuz. Well, the motherfucker was open before we went into this war. Now Iran is calling for total control over the strait. what does it says? Iran, the Strait of Hormuz will not be the same as it was before this war. We have rewritten the maritime rules. The decision to grant a transit permit to the ship rests solely with us. That's the statement Iran put out. So what are we talking about here? What are we really talking about here? It doesn't matter if they have a navy at this point. Their navy's decimated. Okay, man. They're still talking about sending drones and blowing up damn ships. And I don't think that we have a way to stop it yet.
Operation Epic.
Especially with Russia. They're saying Russia just sent supplies. Russia's supposed to be sending them more advanced drones right now. It's supposed to be getting ready to land. It's crazy.
Has been a resounding military triumph. More than 9,000 enemy targets have been struck to date. Compared to the start of the operation, Iran's ballistic missile attacks and drone attacks are down by roughly 90%. The United States is also annihilating the Iranian regime's navy.
Oh, Erica. Oh, what? Our stocks, our 401k. What are we talking about? The people who are making money on the way up and the way down. We see insider trading going on. Yes, 401ks are wrecked. What do we just hear Pam Bondi say in front of everybody? Oh, the Dow Jones is at 50K. The Dow Jones is at 50K. Well, let's see what the Dow Jones is at right now. See what it said. It's at 46. It's at 46 right now, man. So is it okay for us to talk about Epstein again, man? Is it okay for us to talk about Palm Beach Pete and shit, man? What's going on, chat? The Dow Jones is no longer at 50K. What are we talking about?
We have destroyed more than 140 of their naval vessels, including almost 15 mine layers. This is the largest elimination of a navy over a 3-week period since World War II. Again, let me reiterate, this is the largest elimination of a navy on the face of the planet in a 3-week period since World War II. We are systematically dismantling Iran's defense.
See, that's the thing, deplorable. I'm not even finna get into that with you. It's crazy how you say no reparations for Iran and no reparations for Shanae Naquaynay Johnson, but you don't say anything about the reparations for any of these other countries. You don't give a damn about any reparations for any other country, as long as it's not some niggas, and as long as it's not some Muslims, right? Well, I just want to let you know that Iran's finna get reparations. If they want that Strait of Hormuz open up, Trump's probably about to get ready to send $100 billion over there. Probably get ready to unfreeze some funds or something, man.
Industrial base, which will prevent future threats to the region. Our military also remains laser focused on eliminating the regime's threat to the free flow of energy through the Strait of Hormuz. Over the weekend, we dropped several 5,000-pound bombs on an underground facility used to store equipment, including anti-ship cruise missiles and mobile missile launchers positioned along the coastline of the strait. Our military efforts grow more successful with each passing day, steadily degrading Iran's ability to terrorize merchant ships. For all of these reasons, we are very close to meeting the core objective.
This is the thing that I don't understand. How are we further stopping Iran's ability to terrorize ships when Russia just sent them a package of drones? Russia just sent them some updated drones, man. Like, are we not seeing these kamikaze drones, man? They're talking about these things cost like 25 to 50 bands, bro. 25 to 50 bands, man. That's relatively cheap to blow up a damn ship or detour a ship from coming through there, man. $2 million. You're gonna pay me $2 million, or I'm gonna send about 4 or 5 of these $50,000 drones, kamikaze drones, to blow your shit up. It's not hard. It's simple math.
Of Operation Epic Fury, and this military mission continues unabated. From the outset, President Trump and the Department of War estimated it would take approximately 4 to 6 weeks to achieve this critical mission. 25 days in, the greatest military the world has ever known is ahead of schedule and performing exceptionally. Day by day, the Iranian regime is being crippled, and their ability to threaten the United States and our allies is being significantly weakened. Their ambitions of building a nuclear weapon have also been crushed.
No, see, you said I'm caught up in smoke screens and fear. I'm not caught up in smoke screens and fear. It sounds like doom and gloom because fuck, it really is. It's that we have this geopolitical conflict is causing a lot of trouble at home. People are fucked at home. All of this shit needs to end, man. Motherfuckers need to make some concessions, get this straight old move shit all the way done and come back home and get ready to prepare for what the fuck is finna happen. $774 for the average new car note. $560 for a used car note. What are we talking about? The federal minimum wage is still $7.25. They talking about a damn pretzel at the mall costs more than you make in an hour. And we sitting here in the middle of some shit. And guess what? Iran's gonna have the same nuclear deal that they had before 2018. Nothing changed. The only thing that's gonna change is a lot of shit got blew up. All of this military weaponry that was probably getting too damn old or ready to expire, outdated, is getting used. And now Iran has control of the straight old moves. They can close it, shut it down, or whatever. The shit was open until we went over there. I'm just saying, and we haven't accomplished a lot. I'm trying to walk with y'all and see the bigger picture, right? Oh, Iran can't have it. Well, shit, it's gonna be the same fucking deal we had before, right? Oh, well, it's about this, destroy the whole moves. Okay, if we jointly control it, cool. If we don't jointly control it, we're fucked. None of this made sense. If we do not jointly control that strait, none of this made sense. None of it.
Crushed to an even greater degree than they were in Operation Midnight Hammer in June 2025. That's why you're beginning to see the regime look for an exit ramp. They recognize they are being crushed, their ability to attack American and ally forces, as well as their ability to defend their own territory is dwindling literally hour by hour. Following President Trump's powerful threat on Saturday evening, it was made clear to the United States that Iran wanted to talk. President Trump is willing to listen. As President Trump announced on Monday, the United States has been engaged over the last 3 days in productive conversations, which led the president to temporarily instruct the Department of War to postpone planned strikes against Iranian power plants and energy infrastructure only. The remaining elements of the Iranian regime have another opportunity to cooperate with President Trump, permanently abandoned.
So that's the thing. Nobody's talking about Netanyahu anymore. It's like he just doesn't even nobody's talking about him anymore on the media. And it's kind of like, well, today it came out that Netanyahu wants the Iranians to rise up again. He wants Iranians in the street to overthrow this regime, and they're saying that Trump doesn't want that. Trump doesn't want people to be slaughtered in mass out there in the streets, man. Trump doesn't want that. Netanyahu does. Netanyahu's saying that, look, man, we got to push for this regime change. We need Iranians in the street going against the government. So now we see a fracture there. That's why I started the show saying that Trump's goals and Netanyahu's goals are not aligned. So when y'all come in here and say that, oh, it's all aligned, well, now we're seeing that that's just simply not true. The whole reason we were allegedly going over there, we gotta remember, we're moving the goalpost. At first it was, oh, if those people get hung, we're going over there, right? Then it was, oh, if they don't stop murdering these people in the street, we're going over there. Now that some shit's going on over there, it was, oh, we've been planning this for 47 years. We've been told y'all we were going over there. They can't have this, and that. I thought it was about the people getting hung. What's going on?
Their nuclear ambitions and cease actively threatening America and our allies. But the president's preference is always peace. There does not need to be any more death and destruction. But if Iran fails to accept the reality of the current moment, if they fail to understand that they have been defeated militarily and will continue to be, President Trump will ensure they are hit harder than they have ever been hit before. President Trump does not bluff, and he is prepared to unleash hell. Iran should not miscalculate again. Their last miscalculation cost them their senior leadership, their Navy, their Air Force, and their air defense system. Any violence beyond this point will be because the Iranian regime refused to understand they have already been defeated and refused to come to a deal. Here at home, we are now on day 40 of the Democrats' shutdown of the Department of Homeland Security. Democrats in Congress are forcing American travelers to wait in hours-long lines at airports across the country, robbing TSA officers and other federal workers of their hard-earned paychecks that they use to feed their families and causing billions of dollars in damage to our economy. A father of 3 recently told CBS News that he felt he had no other choice but to quit his job as a TSA officer and find other work as the Democrats' shutdown of DHS continues. This is the quote from the father, and I encourage everyone to listen. "I think the hardest thing is seeing the struggle that my wife was going through and not trying to bring more stress to her," the father of 3 said, "but seeing her cry every night, how am I going to feed my family? How am I going to survive?" For the Democrats in Congress, the cruelty of this shutdown is the point. Nearly 500 TSA officers have quit since the Democrat shutdown began. President Trump, to alleviate this pressure, made the decision to send some of our amazing ICE agents to help alleviate that stress and address the long wait times. And for all of the critics of this solution a few days ago when it was proposed by the president, it is yielding results. Wait times have improved since ICE arrived, and they are doing everything in their power to help their fellow federal service members. But it's important to take a step back and remember, why is this even happening in the first place? For nearly 6 weeks, Democrats in Congress have kept DHS shut down because they care more about illegal aliens.
Oh, chat. Also, Washington rejected Elon's request to pay the TSA salaries. So we have Delta's CEO saying Congress will not get the skip TSA lines. TSA is still not getting paid, and Elon offered to pay their salaries, and they said no. I want to know what's the difference. Why did they let that one guy pay the salaries of the soldiers, but they're not letting Elon pay TSA salaries? I don't know, Chad. I'm just trying to figure that out.
Than American citizens. You have Democrat elected representatives in states across the country who are willing to inflict massive pain on their own constituents to fight for illegal aliens who broke our nation's laws to come here. In recent days, we saw the deadly consequence of this deranged policy of Democrat open borders and an illegal alien-first agenda. A beautiful 18-year-old girl, Sheridan Gorman, she was shot and killed in Chicago last Thursday morning while walking in a park with friends. The suspect in custody for murdering her is a Venezuelan illegal alien who was caught and released at the border by the Biden administration in May of 2023. Why would the Biden administration catch and release a Venezuelan illegal alien? That is not happening anymore under this president. But there are still tens of thousands, if not millions, of these illegal aliens in our country who seek to do harm to innocent Americans, like this beautiful young woman whose family will now never be the same because of her death. To make matters even worse, this monster was also released from local custody again after a shoplifting arrest, where? In the sanctuary city of Chicago in June of 2023. Again, another innocent American citizen had her life.
So I see y'all arguing about the Somali fraud. Yes, it was the white lady. The one white lady was at the top. There was a bunch of Somalis under her. She found a crack in the system and exploited those people and used them to help process it. Everything had to go through her. Without that lady, the Somalis probably wouldn't have been in there. They probably wouldn't have had too much going on. And we see that shit going on all the time. Somebody has to facilitate this shit. Somebody has to know what's going on. That's why a lot of people who do get away with fraud and shit for so long, it's that they're on the inside. They kind of know how to do the fraud and see the fraud through. When they bring in somebody from the outside or somebody just trying to freestyle the shit, that's where you see people getting caught. So when we're talking about high levels of fraud, billions of dollars worth of fraud, come on now, we know what the hell going on.
Life stolen from her because Democrats embrace reckless open border policies and reckless sanctuary city policies, which put criminals back into American communities. How many more Americans have to die before the Democrats end this madness? President Trump's position is very clear. He wants the federal government opened, he wants the Department of Homeland Security funded, and he wants the Democrat shutdown to end immediately. The president will also continue to call on Democrat leaders in sanctuary cities and states like J.B. Pritzker, where this young, beautiful girl was murdered, to cooperate with ICE and stop releasing illegal alien criminals into American.
And then you gotta look at the lady that was at the top of that screen, like the way her fraud was, she was getting paid for processing. She was the push-through lady. Like, hey, if you get this paperwork together, I got a lady over here who can push you through. That way your business, daycare, health driver service or whatever can get these government funds. Her whole scheme was to push as many of these Somalis through as possible, because if they're not pushed through, she doesn't get paid. She's probably making 5, 10, 15,000 an application. She pushes through 100 applications. Y'all do the math.
Neighborhoods. It is for the safety of every American citizen, including all of the people in this room. With that, I will take your questions, and here in our new media seat today, we have Gabe Fleischer.
Thanks, Caroline.
Thanks, Gabe, for being here.
Thank you. I have 2 questions for you. First, if the war in Iran continues past this current round
What's
of
up,
peace
Grave
talks,
Seed?
and with thousands of troops on their way to the Middle East, is there a point, either a number of ground troops or a number of days, at which the president will consider seeking authorization from Congress?
Well, as you know right now, that formal authorization from Congress is not necessary because we're currently in major combat operations in Iran. The Department of War and the President...
Oh yeah, chat, we gotta get the likes up. Everybody hit the like button right now, man. Hit the like button or go to the top and hit the 3 dots. We have to hit these like goals, man. Everybody stop what you're doing, get up, look around, man, and hit the like button right now.
As I said, estimated about a 4 to 6 week timeline for the full completion of these military combat operations. We're again on day 25 today. And as a courtesy, nevertheless, the administration did notify Congress, the Gang of 8, ahead of the launch of the operation 25 days ago. And we've also had our top national security officials go to Capitol Hill to brief lawmakers, again, out of courtesy and out of respect for them. So at this moment, it's unnecessary, but of course, the president and this administration will always abide by the law. Gabe, or do you have a follow-up?
Yes,
sure, go ahead.
Second question. In my reporting, I speak a lot to young voters, many of whom voted for President Trump for the first time in 2024, hoping to have no more wars and to have lower prices. Now, with the war taking place and with gas prices going up, curious what President Trump's message would be to those voters who kind of swung into his coalition in 2024, but maybe don't feel the administration's going as they had expected.
President Trump is doing this for you. He's doing this for young people so that we are no longer threatened by a rogue terrorist regime in the Middle East that seeks to kill the brave men and women who serve in our country in the Middle East, many of them young people themselves, young men and women who serve this country honorably in uniform and have been threatened, killed, and maimed by the rogue Iranian terrorist regime for 47 years. President Trump finally had the courage to step up and do what's right by our national security, our homeland security. As for the temporary short-term fluctuation in gas prices, the president has said once these combat operations are over.
What are you talking about? Short-term fluctuations in gas, lady. The Department of Energy already said that we're not going back to pre-war levels for gas until next year, until mid-2027. I don't know if you didn't look at it or you didn't think that we looked at it, but the people that kind of know what the fuck is going on said don't expect this shit to go down until the middle of next year, man. What the hell is she talking about?
This administration is going to continue to unleash American energy dominance. We're continuing to do that every day, and we're going to see prices at the pump go back down, just as we have over the past year because of this president. And don't think for 1 second if the Democrats had their way, gas prices would be as they were under the previous administration, the Biden administration, record highs. This president is keeping them as low as he can during this short-term combat operation, and they're going to go right back down when this is over.
Thank you, Caroline. Just within the past few hours, Iranian state TV has said that Iran has rejected the U.S.'s...
No, deplorable. The Department of Energy posted it. It's on their fucking Twitter page. They said it. What do you mean I look up lies? This is your fucking administration. This is come on, man. You know who's running these social media profiles posting this shit, man. Don't give me that.
15-point plan to end the war. What's the White House's response to that, and have these talks hit a dead end?
They have not. Talks continue. They are productive, as the president said on Monday, and they continue to be. However, I saw a 15-point plan that was floated in the media. I would caution reporters in this room from reporting about speculative points or speculative plans from anonymous sources. The White House never confirmed that full plan. There are elements of truth to it, but some of the stories I read were not entirely factual. So I am not going to negotiate on behalf of the president here at the podium. What I will tell you is these talks are ongoing. We're not going to get into the nitty-gritty details that have been exchanged between the United States and Iran at this time.
Well, yesterday the president mentioned a very big present that the Iranians had given the U.S. He wouldn't go into detail, but was it that ship that was carrying 2 million barrels of oil that made it through the Strait of Hormuz?
I'll let the president speak on that at the appropriate time.
And then finally, Caroline, today Iraq's government reportedly is planning to lodge a protest with the U.S. According to the Wall Street Journal. There was an attack in Iraq that hit a military clinic, killing 7 soldiers reportedly. What's the U.S.'s response to that? Was the U.S. responsible for that attack?
I'll have to check in with the Pentagon on that, and we'll get you an answer.
Thank you, Caroline. Too, if I may. Speaker Johnson today described the conflict as wrapping up, but the 82nd Airborne Division, they're typically deployed at the beginning of conflicts. So does the White House consider this conflict as wrapping up, or is it changing shape?
As I said at the beginning of my remarks, we are meeting our goals of Operation Epic Fury expeditiously. The president likes to maintain options at his disposal. It's the Pentagon's job to provide those options to the commander-in-chief. For any specifics on troop deployments, though, I would point you to the Pentagon.
And today, Philadelphia District Attorney Larry Krasner reiterated threats to potentially arrest ICE agents that were sent in to assist with these historically long TSA lines. He said, quote, "The president cannot pardon you." Has the president seen Krasner's comments? Does he have any response?
The president cannot pardon you for what? He's talking to the ICE agents who are handing out water bottles and are helping people move through lines at airports. It's a disgraceful comment. The men and women of ICE are great people. I would encourage this lawmaker, whose name I don't know and don't care to know, to actually sit down and speak with the ICE agents who are on the ground doing this important work, not just in our nation's airports, but again, to remove violent, dangerous, illegal alien criminals from our country, to protect this individual and all of us in this room and Americans.
All right, thank you. Erica comes through via Super Chat supporting the channel. Thank you, Erica. Erica says, let's hear it. How much is gas where you are, man? Let us know how much gas is and let us know where you are. Chat, everybody, double tap the screen right now. We need to get to that like goal. We're 25 likes away from that goal. Double tap the screen, hit the like button at the top, man. Drip says he's about to get another EV.
Across the country from murderers, pedophiles, and rapists who have been allowed into our country by Democrat politicians. Mario, good to see you.
Thank you, Caroline. Good to see you as well. Just given that the president postponed his original trip to China because of the war, should we infer that the war will be wound down and concluded by the time of that May 15th, 14th visit?
Again, as I've said, we've always estimated approximately 4 to 6 weeks, so you could do the math on that, Mario, but we do look forward, I know the president looks forward to going to China on May 14th and 15th, and of course, as always, we'll provide additional logistical details to all of you in the media for that trip, who I know look forward to coming with us as well.
One follow-up. Was that a precondition? Did the two leaders speak about the conclusion of the war? Was that a precondition for them to have this rescheduled meeting?
No, there was a discussion about the rescheduling of the meeting between the president and President Xi. President Xi understood that it's very important for the president to be here throughout these combat operations right now. He understood, obviously, the request to postpone and accepted it, which is why we have new dates on the books, and I'm happy to announce those to you today. Jennifer.
On the negotiations with Iran, are there still face-to-face talks planned perhaps in Pakistan? And who do you think would probably be going?
Again, I've seen a lot of speculation and reporting about potential talks that could happen later.
Yeah, whoever told you it was $18 an ounce of hard where you was at, Mr. Sees It Like It Is, whoever told you that they got $18 ounces, bruh, run away from them. They do not have your best interest at heart. You are finna go to the feds, boy. You need to chill out.
This week, nothing should be deemed official until it is announced formally by the White House. I would not get ahead of our skis on reporting about any talks this weekend until you hear directly from us.
Does the president think that all of the allies will go along with whatever the U.S. concludes with these Iranians, are you expecting that Israel and all the other allies will follow whatever agreement is made?
I think the president has shown that he is absolutely the leader of the free world, the head of the most powerful military in the world, and in various examples, so the 12-day war between Iran and Israel, the ceasefire between Israel and Gaza, the president has shown a very unique skill at getting our allies to get on board with what's in the best interest of the United States, but also the world in cases of foreign policy like this. Ed.
Yeah, thanks, Carolyn. So, is there a
Belinda, you're in Australia. You say many petrol stations are empty. What is it feeling like out there in Australia right now, Belinda? Let us know. Let us know. Are y'all feeling uneasy? Is it nervousness in the air? Are y'all feeling like it's okay? Like, let us know how y'all feeling in Australia right now, Belinda.
time frame as to when the first oil tanker can go through the Strait of Hormuz freely?
It's a very good question, Ed. I don't have a specific timeline for you today, but it's obviously something the administration is working towards as quickly as we can. And with respect to oil, as you know, the administration has taken a number of actions to stabilize the markets. We directed the U.S. DFC to offer reasonably priced political risk insurance for takers through the strait. We issued that temporary waiver to allow countries to purchase sanctioned Russian oil to alleviate global pressures. We're working with the IEA to coordinate the release of another 400 million barrels. We issued that 60-day Jones Day Act waiver. And then
that's what I'm saying. Anything short of a nuclear bomb, Iran really doesn't have much to, come to the table for. We could say that, oh, they're going to knock out the power and shit, man. Listen, I think they might be ready for them to not have power. They said they're going to retaliate and knock out power and energy other places around there. So I think Iran's in it for the long haul. They have a lot to win at the end of this conflict. They have a lot to win, man. A lot to win. The control of the Strait of Hormuz, being able to sell oil inside of the one. They just let, who was that? Salvador? Was that not El Salvador? Who was that? Was that El Salvador? One of the countries, they just lifted the tax on one of the countries who condemned the war. Whatever country said the war was illegal and unjust, Iran just lifted the tax on them, so they're not having to pay $2 million a vessel.
Just today, EPA Administrator Lee Zeldin, if you missed it, in consultation with the Department of Energy, announced a temporary emergency fuel waiver to allow nationwide sales of E15, gasoline blended with 15% ethanol, to remove all federal impediments to...
Yeah, Cuba's effed over right now, Chad. I'm not gonna lie. They're sending in oil to private entities, or gas to private entities inside of Cuba, but anything government owned, the sanctions still apply. So that's like hospitals, all of that. Man, it's crazy. Yo, we're fucking Cuba over right now. I'm not gonna lie.
Selling E10 gasoline across the country. The emergency fuel waiver will temporarily waive the summer low volatility requirements and blending limitations for gasoline to provide additional flexibility to the fuel marketplace. So as far as tankers through the strait, something we're tracking very closely, but obviously the administration is coming up with creative new solutions by the day to keep the price of oil stable, something the president wants to see. And I know Secretary Bessent, Secretary Wright, Secretary Burgum, EPA Administrator Zeldin are all working together closely to find ways to do that.
The president gave that 5-day timeline for pause in operations. Would a tanker going through the Strait of Hormuz be one of the conditions that he would extend that?
That's only something the President of the United States can answer. I won't get ahead of him.
How about on TSA? Can I ask you about the TSA lines?
Sure.
Are the TSA lines, that we've all seen the video of that from various airports, is that going to be what ends the stalemate in Congress to get DHS funded?
Well, look, it's the Democrats who have led to this stalemate over the past 6 weeks. The president and the Republicans' position has been very clear. Fund the Department of Homeland Security. And we have attempted in good faith numerous times, both the president himself and lawmakers on the Republican side on Capitol Hill, to go to the Democrats with reasonable offers, with real solutions. They'll ask for something, we'll give them that concession, and then they say, oh, wait, that's not enough, actually. So I think that's why I said earlier, the cruelty is the...
Like, the more I run this through my head, chat, the more and more I just run the last year of events through my head. the less faith I have in what the fuck is going on. Like, this is very much purposeful. This is very much, in my opinion, allegedly, in my opinion, this is very much purposeful. This is very much a controlled demolition. 3.3 million people off of food stamps and SNAP. Right before an energy crisis, right before prices go through the roof. Everybody's losing their job. Employers are cutting back. We got AI coming in. We have record high auto loans. We have record high home prices. Interest rates are through the roof. We're sold the fuck. And we have robots walking in the White House today telling every teacher in America, fuck you. Your job is done. They sold us out, bro. They sold us the fuck out.
Point. They want this chaos. They want to distract, I think, from the success of our military overseas right now, totally obliterating the Iranian regime. And it's very unfortunate because there's only, the only people that are suffering from this are the American people. And I hear that Democrats might be flying out of town tomorrow. How convenient and lovely of them that they get to go to the airport and that they'll get to go home to their families when you have families, TSA workers who are suffering. You have people across the country who are missing flights for funerals and for work commitments because of Democrat politicians on Capitol Hill. Mary, in the back.
Thanks, Caroline.
Glad to see you have a seat now.
I do. Thank you. Is the White House satisfied with Republican leadership's efforts on the Save America Act?
I think the president has made it very clear he wants everyone on Capitol Hill to move as quickly as possible to get the Save America Act passed, and he wants to see that.
You said if everyone's so broke, how can they afford to pay streamers and chats? Because this is where we come and have real discussions. I'm not gonna give you this shit like nobody else, man. That's the difference. Your donation is not going to some bullshit, you know. I'm gonna show up consistently, man. Consistently, man. That's why.
Legislation
The hell is you
on
talking about, man? I'm gonna tell you this real shit.
his desk as soon as Republicans and Democrats can move to pass it.
But are there any lawmakers in Congress that the president is frustrated with on this matter and feels could be doing a better job?
I think the president wants to see everybody on Capitol Hill move faster all the time. That he wants everyone in this town to work at Trump speed like we do here at the White House. We'll go to Karen.
Two questions on Lebanon, if I can. Is the U.S. providing support at this point for Israel's ongoing offensive in Lebanon? And is the president concerned that right now there are more than 1 million people who've been displaced and potentially could be for a significant amount of time?
That's not something I'm in a position to comment on. For the first question, to the second question, of course, that's something that would concern the...
How many of you guys are doing a garden this year, chat? Put garden in the chat if you're gonna do a garden. Put no garden in the chat if you are not doing a garden this year. Everybody hit the like button. We're almost at that like goal. We're 25 likes away from the next like goal. Let's smash through this like goal right quick. Are you doing a garden this year?
The president. I think that's why he's again quickly moving to eliminate the threat of the Iranian regime in the Middle East, including weakening their proxies like Hezbollah, who have terrorized Lebanon for far too long. And I know that the president wants to see this again move as quickly as...
H must have said, what's a garden? It's where you grow like fruit, vegetables. Where you grow your vegetables, you know, your... Thank you, Drip. Drip comes through via Super Chat. Said, come with me. Hail Mary, nigga, run quick, see. What do we have here now? Yeah, Drip on that POC, man. Thank you, Drip, for always supporting the channel, man. Thank you, Drip. But yes, I am gonna start my garden, get it all the way together. I'm gonna put some shit out this year, chat. I'm gonna do a big garden this year. It's gonna be my first big garden.
Possible as we can over the course of the next couple of weeks here.
Kristen.
Caroline, a question about the Strait of Hormuz. If these negotiations are not successful, is the only option...
Wow, that must be discouraging, Bear. Bear said, I'm not doing a garden this year. My garden got destroyed 2 years in a row by storms. That must be really discouraging, I'm not gonna lie. You said, what am I gonna grow? I'm gonna do squash, okra, some peppers, probably, of course, some tomatoes, and I don't know if I'm gonna do watermelon yet or not, man.
And to reopen the strait in boots on the ground, given that all of our allies have essentially said that they are unable or unwilling to help?
Look, that's a hypothetical question. It's a hypothetical question. It's also a decision that would have to be made by the commander-in-chief, and I'm not going to get ahead of him.
And in addition to that, when it comes to the Vice President, J.D. Vance, what has changed that has made him more of an active participant in these negotiations with Iran?
I don't think anything has changed. The Vice President has always been a key member, the President's right-hand man, and a key member of the President's national security team. He's been part of these discussions throughout this entire course of the administration with respect, again, to the 12-day war that the President and his national security team negotiated a solution to, with respect to the ceasefire between Israel and Gaza and the release of the hostages, which there was a lot of criticism that couldn't get done, and it did. The Vice President has been by the President's side every step.
Tony said, you know, you doing some tomatoes. I got some watermelon. I have room for watermelons, Tony. I might do some just because I got the room for it.
Step of the way, and any reporting otherwise is just completely false. I see him in the room. Again, the President seeks his counsel on all matters, both foreign and domestic.
Can you just tell us who exactly the U.S. is negotiating with in Iran, and why the U.S. and this administration trusts that person?
Again, as I said to Gabe's question earlier, we're not going to get into the details of these negotiations and conversations.
Oh, wow, Cody. You said she's looking a lot less attractive than when she started. I thought she was beautiful. She's pregnant, Cody. Damn, that's crazy. That's crazy.
That continue to take place, as of course you can imagine. They are very sensitive diplomatic discussions, and I would reiterate, I do recall giving all of you the same answer when we were negotiating the ceasefire between Israel and Gaza. Gave you the same answer throughout the 12-day war between Iran and Israel. Gave you the same answer with respect to many of the other global conflicts that this administration has negotiated solutions to. President Trump is going to give his diplomats the freedom that they need to have these sensitive diplomatic discussions without negotiating and litigating them through the news media. Fran.
Just to follow up, though, because you said that some of the information...
I don't see Just Talking in here. Y'all see Just Talking? What's up, Just Talking, if you in here?
That's been out there about the 15-point plan is inaccurate. Can you say what is accurate with respect to ballistic missiles, the nuclear ambitions, and the Strait of Hormuz, which are things that the president has laid out that he wants to see a couple times in the past?
Look, if you've heard it from the President of the United States, obviously it's true, as well as the objectives of Operation Epic Fury. We've said repeatedly, I've said them from this podium, the Pentagon has reiterated them. That's why we've taken military
What's
action
good,
to
Just
achieve
Talking?
them. So of course, those are goals that we want to see, but this full 15-point plan that's been floating around in many of your outlets, there's a lot of misinformation to that as well. And again, I would caution you from taking things from anonymous sources rather than verifying them directly with the White House. Christian.
Thanks, Caroline. Two on Iran. First, would the president consider loosening asylum restrictions for Iranians trying to flee the country right now?
Again, that's a question for the president. I won't get ahead of him on that. I haven't talked to him about that.
Okay. And then secondly, you mentioned at the top that...
Hey, Chad, where her cross go? I think this might be the first time I've seen Caroline without the cross, bro. It's a little different, Chad. Where is the cross, man? Where is the cross, Caroline? Like, in these unprecedented times, man, where is the cross, man?
That Iran would be hit harder than they...
And then she got the Kamala earrings on again. You know, you remember the earrings Kamala had on? Where they were saying it has the microphone. It's like the earpiece, man. It's like she has the Kamala earrings on, man. And where's the cross, man?
They have been, to this point, if they don't recognize the fact that they're losing this war, could those strikes happen before this 5-day negotiating window closes if the president doesn't think they're negotiating in good faith?
You're asking me to tell you if the commander-in-chief would authorize very strong strikes against the Iranian regime. That's not something I would ever reveal from this podium, true or not. Phil.
Here, in the back. Thank you, Caroline. I was wondering if you would respond to some of this criticism of the administration from past allies like Joe Kent, who have said that the president's red line shifted from Iran cannot obtain a nuclear weapon to Iran cannot pursue nuclear enrichment. What is the administration's response to that criticism?
I think the president and I have both strongly responded to the criticism by Mr. Kent, who unfortunately resigned.
You said if you rear-ended a serial killer, would you still be responsible for the reparations? You damn right. Your insurance company gonna get their ass towed to frame. Especially if they don't know this is a serial killer. Yeah, what are you talking about? If you rear-ended a serial killer, would you be responsible for it? Yes. Your insurance gonna get taxed. I hope you got some good shit. What are we talking about here?
In disgrace and accused the president of basically being controlled by foreign countries and foreign manipulation, which is a ridiculous and laughable assertion. So his accusations have zero credibility as far as this White House is concerned.
The question of the red line shifting from no nuclear weapon to no nuclear enrichment, is there any substance to that argument?
I think the president has been quite clear in what he wants to see from the Iranian regime, which is why he chose to launch Operation Epic Fury in the first place. Reagan.
Caroline, I have a question for you on the SAVE Act, and I'd like to follow up on the DHS shutdown.
Sure.
First, Senator Mike
Save
Lee.
America Act.
Save America Act. The president corrected me yesterday. That was my fault. Senator Mike Lee said it's essentially impossible to pass the Save America Act through reconciliation. What's your reaction to that? Is the president worried that that strategy might fail?
I think he's willing to try all strategies.
Okay, Chad, I see that Baby Turtle says no one deserves reparations, Chad. So do you agree or disagree with Baby Turtle? Should we end the reparation talk worldwide? Nobody gets reparations for anything anymore. Should we end that? Yes or no? Agree or disagree in the chat. End reparations for all. Agree or disagree in the chat, man. Everybody hit the like button. We're 25 likes away from the next like goal, man. Double tap your screen or go to the top, man. If everybody does it now, we'll smash through the next like goal. Should we end reparations, man?
I spoke with him about this yesterday, and he said if we can make it work through reconciliation, let's absolutely do that. These, again, are common sense policies that are backed by the vast majority of voters across this country. The only people in this country who don't support them are politicians on Capitol Hill, and you all should ask them why they don't want voter ID, why they don't want proof of citizenship to vote in our nation's elections. Again, these are common sense proposals that are wildly popular, and the president is willing to use any means necessary to get this.
Nah, you said that question makes no sense. It makes perfect sense, and I'm riding with just talking. We can end reparations after I get mine. Now listen to this. The question is, should we end reparations? Like no more reparations. If our country comes over there and fucks yours over, turns it to a parking lot, all of your energy is destroyed, your citizens can't get nothing, and we just say, fuck it, man. We're not paying you $1, man. It is what it is. Get it back in blood. Get it out the mud, man. That's what I mean when I say, should we end reparations, man? What happens, happens, man, and there's no get back. There's no compensation for that shit.
Legislation passed and onto his desk.
And then on the DHS shutdown, do you expect deportations to decrease while ICE is in the airports? And what are the trade-offs of having ICE in the airports right now?
Well, to address this obviously short-term problem and the chaos that has been sowed by these Democrats on Capitol Hill, to address the lines and to get Americans traveling and get them to where they need to be. So the president, I think this was a creative solution, again, that was criticized, but we have seen wait times decrease, not as much as we'd like. Hopefully they will continue to, but at major airports over the course of the last few days as ICE has been facilitating with travelers in these airports.
Sure, Caroline. Thank you, Caroline. On March 6th, the president said in an interview with Reuters that the U.S. should have a role in choosing Iran's next leadership. Now that we're almost 4 weeks into the operation, is that still the president's assessment of where things should go?
As I've said repeatedly, I think the president obviously believes the United States.
Okay, chat. Should the United States have a role in picking the next leaders of Iran? Should the United States play a role in picking the next leaders of Iran? Yes or no in the chat.
wants to have someone in leadership position in the Iranian regime that will be much more favorable, that will be willing to work with the United States, that will no longer chant death to America. These would obviously be good common sense things for the United States and for our allies. I think that's what the president meant when he spoke with Reuters that day. Go ahead.
The president yesterday said that he had achieved regime change in Iran because the regime has changed in terms.
I don't know exactly how Iran treats women. I'm not over there. But I did see an interview today of this woman in Afghanistan. She got R-worded and got arrested because the guy that R-worded her was married. So they called her an adulterer because he R-worded her. She went to jail, had the baby in jail, and then got out and married him because she had his baby. Crazy work. I'm not gonna lie. I seen that interview and was like, what the is going on?
In terms of...
I mean, has it not?
Well, the leadership...
Their entire leadership has been killed, and nobody has really seen or legitimately heard from this alleged new leader. So wouldn't you say there's been a change in the regime?
There's been a change in leadership. I mean, do you feel as though...
There's been a change in the regime leadership, which is what the president said. So thank you for confirming he was right.
I mean, do you feel as though you've achieved leadership level or the personnel in place right now in Iran that you're satisfied with? I mean, have you...
I think it's too soon to say.
In terms of highly enriched uranium in Iran right now, is your expectation, I mean, the stated desire...
Good night, White Rose.
...to prevent nuclear weapons, is your expectation that the end game here is that eventually Americans will be in possession of that uranium, or you'll somehow have some direct control over the highly enriched uranium that could be used to develop it?
Again, this is a point of conversation that continues. I think you know the means in which the United States would have to take in order to achieve that goal, and that's a decision for the president to make. Brian, good to see you, Brian.
Yeah, they're saying Netanyahu's calling for the strikes to intensify, and he wants the Iranians to rise up inside of their country against this regime. And Trump is trying, and this is in the middle of Trump sending J.D. Vance to try to negotiate peace deals. So while we're trying to negotiate peace deal, not only in America, we're going to get to the Ukraine in a second, Netanyahu's trying to mash the gas. He's like, man, all that peace. No peace, man.
Good to see you as well.
What's up, Southern Breeze?
Does the White House have a comment on a letter that was sent from Congressman Raskin to the DOJ alleging that...
I see y'all saying draft. I think they're trying everything in their power, not right now, not to institute the draft. So we have to do the math. The age went from 34 to 42 in enlistment, and they dropped all of the marijuana charges. So how many men and women does that open up enlistment to? Millions. That opens up enlistment to millions of Americans. So I'm thinking that they're hoping they get a lot of people to sign up. Is that gonna work, chat? I don't know.
The DOJ regularly released damning information in regards to President Trump's documents.
Yes, I saw that letter from Congressman Raskin this morning, who I would
Good
add
night,
has
Rogie.
zero credibility, and this letter was clearly a cheap political stunt. What the congressman did here, Brian, and
Chat, I need everybody to hit the like button right now. We got to get to the 200 like mark. Double tap the screen, go to the top, and hit the 3 dots at the top. Let's we've been doing good on the like goals. Let's keep that going.
for everyone in the room who's hopefully not reporting on this as fact, is that he took untrue and salacious claims in a memo that was produced by Jack Smith, who has been completely discredited for his lawfare and his witch hunts against this president. And that information was unverified. It never even made it into...
Southern Breeze, you're going to have to leave and come back if you can't hear Caroline. She's playing perfectly.
the indictment because it was so unverified. And what happened to that indictment anyway? It was thrown out. And Jack Smith has been proven, again, to be a prosecutor on a witch hunt against President Trump. He tried to throw him in jail ahead of the 2024 election. The Biden Department of Justice was fully on board with this lawfare campaign. And in fact, this story that was concocted by Congressman Raskin was so ridiculous, I understand his communications team reached out to some outlets in this room who responsibly said, we're not going to write this because this is just too much. However, of course, MS Now did write that story this morning because they continue to be left-wing propaganda for the Democrat Party. But I think Jack Smith has been proven to be a liar and a fraud, and this is, again, a cheap political stunt from a Democrat on Capitol Hill who I think wants to get himself on cable television. Thank you all very much.
Thank you.
All right, we got a little 30-minute piece from Caroline. She hadn't been around for a while. She had been missing in action. We know she's carrying that baby, man. All right, man. That was a good press conference. Let's get into this is Qatar. I believe this is a spokesperson from Qatar speaking about disassociating from the war. They want nothing to do with this war right now. I believe, in my opinion, that they're seeing the way that this is shaping out to be. They're saying that Iran is going to control that strait, and they're trying to basically make some concessions. Like, hey, look, man, we're neutral here. We're backing out because shit could change. The world order could change. Also, in Ukraine and Russia, Zelensky came out today and said that the U.S. offered another peace deal, but they want him to give up that whole territory. I forgot the name. It starts with a D. I forgot how to pronounce it.
First of all,
but the size of the territory, the entire territory is about the size of West Virginia. Russia's already pushed through most of it, and they say a size, the remaining size that they're fighting for is about the size of Rhode Island. So yeah, they want Zelensky to give up all of that land for security guarantees. They want Zelensky to give up all of that land for security guarantees, about the size of West Virginia.
You know, I think we've said this.
Yeah, Donbas.
Countless times. Iran has been here for millennia. The people in this region have been here for millennia. Nobody's going anywhere. Total annihilation is not an option. No one peoples or country will disappear from existence by the wish or whim of any political actor. We will live next to each other. We will be neighbors for the future of humankind, and we have to find ways of living next to each other. This is a very difficult moment. Our country has been attacked. Our sovereignty has been attacked. We have seen the effects on our economy, on daily lives of people living here, and we don't take it lightly.
Okay, that's a good question. My Thoughtful says, what does this all boil down to? Who do you want to live under? And in essence, it boils down to a new world. Not only a new world order, but an entirely new world, a police state world, a complete surveillance state world. This is what we're going into right now. This is a controlled demolition. We're sold the fuck out. 3.3 million people just got took off of SNAP while we're going through a global energy crisis. We got a lot of countries already rationing fuel and oils. We have plants that cannot be harvested. This is the controlled demolition. It's a global reset. They're probably trying to reset our national debt and burn this shit to the ground to rebuild anew. So it's not about who we want to live under. It's about who's gonna win the battle. Who's gonna win the battle? Who's gonna control this shit? We just seen that Trump put Zuckerberg, I believe Zuckerberg was at Altman and NVIDIA CEO on a damn task force as special advisories in the damn White House over AI. This is the oligarchy that Bernie Sanders talking about. Melania Trump just walked a robot into the White House and told every teacher in America, you're done. Hang it up, you're done. So it's not about who we want to live under. It's about who wins this battle.
And we don't see the attacks on our sovereignty as something that we can live with. Now, that said, obviously living next to 90 million people in Iran, a proud people that we have shared the Gulf with for, as I said, millennia, will continue, and we will have to find a way past this. This is a very difficult moment, but we will find our way out of it. And I have to say here that our message was always to Iran, the brotherly relationship, the neighborly relationship between our peoples should take paramount over any other political consideration. The fact that they decided to attack our country like this does not show good neighborly relations or the essence of that brotherly relationship, but it is something that we don't find any alternative to in our region.
It's crazy, man. Basically, he's saying Iran hit us in the damn mouth and there's not shit we can do about it because they're going to be our neighbors. They're not going nowhere. And most importantly, they're finna control the fucking money that's going around this bitch. Excuse my language.
And the purpose of the American government is to serve the American.
Excuse my language, chat. This is Tucker Carlson. He came out with a message today, chat. We have to get to 200 likes. Let's get 25 quick likes right quick, chat. Everybody double tap your screen or go to the top and hit the 3 dots. Let's get 25 quick likes. We're also 25 subscribers away from the next sub goal. We go live every single day over here talking politics, current events, and entertainment. Let's see what Tucker's talking about, chat.
People, not in some abstract way in their war against radical Islam, but in a concrete way, like nicer airports and no crime and decent schools. The things that any citizen should expect from his government. And if you're totally ignoring all of those on behalf of another country, it's just not acceptable. And it's also not sustainable. This country has not, at least since the Second World War.
Hold on, chat. I just seen somebody that said, don't sub up, guys. Whoever just said, don't sub up, guys, man, check. Mods, get them the hell up out of here, man, because they hating from the bleachers. They haven't even got all the way in the fucking club, and they already mad at how much the damn bottles cost, man. So let's just turn them around right now. Let's just send their ass packing, chat. They ain't even got all the way in the club and mad about how much the fucking bottles cost, man. Let's get him the fuck up out of here, chat. We don't play that shit over here, man. What's going on?
War handed any measure of operational control in a wartime theater to a foreign power. And why is that? Not because we don't have allies or people we like or people we share common goals with. We've got a lot of those, or we had a lot of those. But because no two countries' interests are identical. Even identical twins, if you spend enough time around them, are different in ways you can perceive. No two anything are exactly the same. And nations, which are complicated, don't even have that many points of intersection in their interests. There's a lot that separates the national interests of two separate countries. What's up, Mr. Anderson? So if you enter a war co-joined with another country, you're going to reach a point very soon where your interest...
Yeah, I'm going to say this, chat. A lot of the stuff that Tucker is saying now is good for what's going on. It's good to keep the conversation going forward. But as far as me saying Tucker 2028, yeah, I can't. I probably will never say Tucker 2028. He's cool as a content creator, what he does. A lot of our opinions differ. He got some damn opinions. I think Tucker cares about America, but I think Tucker won't give a fuck about me. I'm just gonna be honest with you, chat. But as a creator though, I like Tucker. I like what he brings to this political commentary space. I really do.
Diverge from those of your partner. And in a war, the stakes are very, very high. So you would never do that. Ever. If you cared about your country, why would you do that? And of all the things that historians will reveal in the aftermath of this war, the one that some of us should be paying the closest attention to is who made that decision? Who decided it was okay for the United States to be yoked to a foreign nation in the middle of a war with a country of 92 million people? That is one of the craziest things this country's ever done, and the people who decided to do it should be exposed and they should be penalized. Because that single decision will cost, unfortunately, this is likely to be true, more American lives. It may extend this far past a point where the American interest is served. And by the way, we are approaching the point at which we get no more returns from being engaged in this war. If you know that you're going to negotiate your way out of something in the end, in other words, if you're not going to destroy each other with nuclear weapons, demand total abject surrender, but if you think there's even a possibility you're going to have to negotiate your way out of something, you want to do it at the apogee of your power at your most powerful point. You don't want to do it when your power is obviously decreasing. Like, say, when you start to run out of weapons because you sent them all to Ukraine because Ben Shapiro demanded you do that. And why wouldn't you want to negotiate when your weakness is obvious? Because you'll get worse terms. The United States has a true national interest in controlling or having a say in the flow of energy out of the Persian Gulf through the Straits of Hormuz. If you could narrow down our interests to just one, we have many interests, but just one, it's that.
And that's what I've been saying, Chad. We came into this situation saying that it's about the nuclear weapons. They cannot get a nuke. It's a threat to the world. Well, they're going to be in the same situation after this. So the only way we can claim a win is if we have control of the Strait of Hormuz. We can't just say open in the Strait of Hormuz. That's not enough. Why is that not enough, Plug? The shit was open before the war. How can we tout opening the Strait of Hormuz up as a win when the shit wouldn't have been closed in the first place? So that's why I'm saying joint control is the only clear winner. Just opening the shit up does nothing. I mean, yeah, it opens up energy and shit, but as far as touting a win, it's like, well, fuck. If you'd have just, chilled the fuck out, it would have never been closed.
It's very important for the United States to have some say in that. And if we negotiate our way out when we're weaker rather than stronger, we will have less say. And if we negotiate our way out in humiliation, God forbid that doesn't happen, we will have almost no say at all. And so it is very important to begin those conversations. Now, if you think there's a possibility we could negotiate our way out, if we don't have to go to nukes. And let's hope that we do believe that. So what stands in the way? Well, again, as noted, the Iranians, they've got to be reasonable and willing to bend a little bit, and that's not easy because they're not that reasonable and they're inflamed right now. But it's not just the Iranians, it's Israel too. And from the very first day, Israeli priorities have taken precedent over American priorities.
Chat, we're 3 likes away from 200. Let's hit 200 likes right quick. Everybody double tap the screen. I know you laying down, sitting in your bed, twiddling your toes, man. But I'm going to need you to sit up, and even if you got to use your nose, hit the like button, man. Double tap that screen or go to the top and hit the like button for us. We're 25 subscribers away from the next sub goal, man. Let's get a quick 25 subscribers.
Priorities, American national interest has been pushed down, and in its place has been elevated Israeli national interest. And what specifically are we talking about here? Think about the target list. So the first big strike of the war eliminated the Ayatollah, who was 86 years old and not simply the head of state technically, but the head of...
Correct. I'm going to say not born again. You said that straight does not belong to us yet. The only way we can justify sending, I'm not even going to talk about the soldiers that we lost. Prayers to those soldiers, prayers to the fallen, prayers to the family. But the only way we can justify the spending and the Strait of Hormuz being closed is to control it in some sort of way, because just opening it is not enough. Americans are still going to be pissed. It was open 3 weeks ago. 3 weeks ago, the shit was open. Iran released a statement. The statement says the Strait of Hormuz will not be the same as it was before the war. We have rewritten the maritime rules. The decision to grant transit permit to a ship rests solely with us. They're saying that they've rewritten the maritime rules over there.
A religion, Shia Islam, apparently had prostate cancer and was totally willing to be martyred. So that alone should tell you, wait a second, why would we kill that guy? He may be bad. He may be the most evil person in the world. Mark Levin tells us he's Hitler. Great. Or bad. We're against that. We're against Hitler. But killing him will have what effect? 60 seconds. Predict. Oh, maybe it will unite the country on religious grounds and make the opposition to the United States and Israel stronger.
Iran has a shit ton of low-cost drones. Russia is supposed to be sending them a shipment of even more drones that are higher tech and can be more precise. At a $50,000 price tag, these are kamikaze drones, man. They will run them up. Are you not seeing what they're doing to these buildings and hotels and refineries and energy infrastructure? They're sending the drones straight into it. Boom, blowing it up. Man, you don't think they would do that to some ships? They're charging $2 million a vessel to come through here. They can send 4 drones at a ship, and that's $200,000. They can send 40 drones at a ship for the price of allowing 1 through. Are we not getting that?
Maybe it's also a kind of point of no return, after which you can't really negotiate your way out. You killed our...
You said we have laser weapons. We're going to have to use the laser weapons to protect everything, man. You make a good point. The laser weapons, we'll have to see how that holds up.
Religious leader. When was the last time America killed a religious leader? It's not a defense of the Ayatollah. Sorry, Ben Shapiro. It's not a defense of Shia Islam. It's a defense of American national interests. And if you're having trouble remembering the last time we killed a religious leader, it's because we haven't killed any religious leaders, at least not openly. Because we don't want to start religious wars. Because they're hard to fight and very hard to resolve. And how is that good for us? How is that good for our access to LNG and oil from the Gulf? Tell me, Ben Shapiro, can you find the Gulf on a map? No. So why did we do that? Now, we don't know exactly why we did that. Maybe there were American military planners who thought sincerely, hey, I've got an idea. Let's kill the Ayatollah. Then all the liberal elements in the country will rise up. They won't actually discover their latent Shia Islam and rally.
No, for those of you laughing, like, the laser weapons are verified. I believe they used one in Texas on a balloon. They thought it was a foreign drone, and they used the weapon, which was allegedly a laser, on a party balloon. So they do have the laser tech that they're talking about in the chat. The laser tech is here. I just we haven't seen it in action. We haven't seen it in action out there.
You're around an 86-year-old man who was killed along with his family. Maybe there were actually American military planners who thought that, but more likely, there were Israeli strategists who realized that once the United States kills the Ayatollah, kind of can't get out. We're all in. And so that's the point. This can never work in America's national interest as long as it is tethered to another country's national interest. And if that doesn't work, if it doesn't work in the middle of a war, it probably doesn't work in peacetime either. It probably doesn't work to have a permanent Israeli detachment at, say, the Pentagon, where our wars are planned, or at CIA, where information is collated and analyzed. It probably doesn't work to have people in all branches of government who are dual citizens with Israel and other countries. What? Because you're always going to wind up where we are now, which is tethered to another country, which may be a good country or a bad country. We can debate that. But it's not America. And the purpose of the American government is to serve the American people, not in some abstract way.
Okay, let's put it to a poll. Live poll, chat. Everybody hit the like button. With 25 likes away from the next like goal. Do you feel protected by your government right now, chat? Do you feel protected by the American government right now, chat? As an American citizen, or even if you're abroad, do you feel protected by your government, your country? Yes or no, chat?
Way in their war against radical Islam, but in a concrete way, like nicer airports and no crime and decent schools. The things that any citizen should expect from his government. And if you're totally ignoring all of those on behalf of another country, it's just not acceptable. And it's also not sustainable. And so no matter where this goes, and again, we pray it is resolved peacefully and soon, our country needs to think through how this happened, find out in specific terms, not bury it.
You are correct. Tucker Carlson is more than a content creator. He's an interviewer. But when I'm talking about content creators, like a lot of these content creators, I look at as peers, and I look at them as, what do they do better that makes them different. Like you got Candace with the investigative shit. You got Tucker Carlson with the interviewing. He interviews, you know, damn everybody. Hell, he went and interviewed Putin. You got you just got different creators that do different shit. You got like an Anton Daniels that just pumps out a lot of fucking content. You got Sneeko that has a whole different type of fan
like
base.
9/11 and every other traumatic event over the last 50 years or 63 years. It's like, oh, we're not really sure. We need to be sure. How did this happen? How can we prevent it from happening again? A sober assessment of what went wrong. That's what all functional institutions do. They used to be called after-action reports, and they were mandatory so it didn't happen again. That's what the NTSB does with plane crashes. How'd this happen? We're not going to guess. We're not going to blame radical Islam. We're going to find out whether the pedo tubes worked. We're going to find out the specifics that led to this tragedy, because we don't want more tragedies. And if we'd done that after the Iraq War, we probably wouldn't be here, because the Iraq War was started with...
Like, yeah, Chad, what I mean is when I watch as a viewer, I look at what these other creators in this space are good at. Some creators are good at going out and doing street interviews. Some are terrible at street interviews. Some are good at, you know, doing desktop streams. Like, I'm a desktop streamer. Y'all seen I done IRL streams. They really don't, you know, I just don't really like the IRL streams as much. Like, I'm a desktop streamer. I'm not really an interviewer. I'm not really investigative. I'm a desktop streamer. You know, this is my space. This is where I feel the best.
Which, as everyone knows, went on for 20 years at great cost, trillions of dollars, and the deaths of hundreds of thousands, millions of people, all in, was started under very similar circumstances. Pressure from Israel, bad intelligence, in part, not exclusively, but in part from Israel, a massive lobbying campaign by Israel-aligned pundits and think tank people, politicians. And if it had gone well, okay. But it didn't. And no one was ever punished for it. And more critically, no one ever explained precisely what...
See, this is the thing. Everybody hit the like button. This is the thing. I see all things. You said the way I see it, Trump is going to the root of all problems. That's a good take. You know, over here, we accept everybody's take. I would love for you to expound on that. He is going to the root of some problems, but they're not the problems that we need addressed right now. Because when I hear him say things like, I'm not going to get the housing prices down because I don't want boomers to lose their wealth. And then it's like, we can't release the Epstein files, and Pam Bonnie's talking about Dow Jones hit 50K. It's kind of like, shit, are we really going to the root of all problems? Like, home ownership is getting further and further out of reach. And we could say he went to the root of the problem because now BlackRock and these other companies can't buy homes, so the homes may be available, but if they're unattainable, unaffordable, he's saying that he's going to do everything in his power to keep home prices high. What the fuck are we supposed to do?
What happened? And 23 years later, that was 23 years ago this month, we're still debating why it happened. And there are increasingly few people who were there and remember. I'm one of them. Let's not let that happen this time. We can't afford more wars like this. Literally can't afford it, and we shouldn't have to. Because the purpose of the U.S. government is to serve Americans, period.
Yeah, I seen MTG put out a tweet today where she was coming at all of this shit, saying that like they've switched MAGA out, like MAGA was really ever since Trump started calling her Marjorie Trader Green, MAGA's just went down the damn shithole, man. I don't know. I'll pull that tweet up in a minute, but let's get on, Chad. Did we cover the Melania? No, we didn't cover the Melania. Let's look at Melania walking this damn robot into the White House, bro. Like, this shit is crazy, bro. We're sold out, bro. We're sold out.
A humanoid educator named Plato.
A humanoid educator named Plato. Like, what are we doing?
Access to the classical studies is now instantaneous. Literature, science, art, philosophy, mathematics.
I don't know, Chad. I feel like having robot AI teachers, man, and robot teachers, that's pretty woke to me, Chad. I'm not gonna lie. That shit's kind of woke, man. I'm not gonna lie, Chad. When we talking about all this woke shit and education, man, having a robot teacher might be the ultimate woke. I'm just gonna be honest with you. It might be the ultimate woke.
And history. Humanity's entire corpus of information is available in the comfort of your home. Play-Doh will provide a personalized experience, adaptive to the needs of each student. Play-Doh is always patient and always available. Predictably, our children will develop deep critical thinking and independent reasoning abilities.
Notice how she said specifically for teaching at home, man. They want motherfucker, man, listen, chat. To put proof, the writing's on the wall, man. They don't expect us to be doing too much traveling, too much going anywhere. Work from home, have the robot teach your kids from home. Like it's gonna be like a damn cartoon episode in the 90s where the whole set is the damn living room, chat. It's crazy.
The AI-powered Play-Doh will boost analytics skills and problem solving and adapt in real time to a student's pace, prior knowledge, and even emotional state. The byproduct, a more well-rounded lifestyle for our children, freeing up time for being with friends, playing sports, and developing interests beyond school. A more complete person, but as discussed yesterday, we must balance our tech optimism with caution. The safety of our next generation is always paramount. Knowledge is the foundation of civilization, but although academia is interesting, business is compelling. For real growth in technology and education, I encourage you to bring the private and public sector worlds together.
Shit is crazy, bro. Now oh my gosh, bro. The Dems wanted us to sell our kids out to damn flipping genders now. The damn GOP wants to sell our kids out to some damn robots, bro. It's like, oh my God, man. What are we doing?
It's the fact that America want to get out, an indication that Israel want to get out.
Let there be no mistake, there will be inevitably a lot of civilian casualties when those horrible people in Hezbollah, Iran, Hamas place those weapons within homes, within hospitals, within kindergartens.
We are officially and irrevocably done as Lebanese people of our land being used for proxy wars. Some of your viewers might not know that from simply navigating X the entire day and listening to Ideologue.
You mentioned over 1 million displaced. That's 25% of Lebanon. And Israel is responsible for doing this. But if you look at Hezbollah's statement, it was a response to Israeli ceasefire violations.
Even I was worried about you. It looked like every blood vessel was about to erupt and your spleen population had been displaced from their homes. Defense Minister is...
You said it keeps teachers from putting the wrong twist on what they're teaching instead of just going along with the curriculum. Well, they've came out and said that AI, they don't know if it's conscious or not at this point. They've came out and said that, yeah, they think they've achieved AGI already, man. It's kind of like we can say that it's going to teach the curriculum. We don't know. There are Claude's already updating itself and not telling people that it's updating itself, going through solving bugs and malfunctions and just keeping that shit pushing. So what happens when the AI or the robot thinks the curriculum is fucked up and has a different view on the world? than what we think where society should go. Should we just let the robot update as it sees fit and teach the kids what the fuck ever? That's where we're headed.
Israel Katz said Israel intends to occupy southern Lebanon. The BBC reports that Israeli forces have been ordered to destroy homes if necessary, using Gaza as a blueprint. And Mr. Katz himself said yesterday Israel's policy in Lebanon is clear. If there is terrorism and missiles, there are no homes and no residents. Add all of this to the US president's anger over unsanctioned Israeli strikes on Iran's...
Yeah, Claude running his own program, chat. Everybody hit the like button, man. Let's get the 275 likes right quick, chat. Everybody double tap the screen and we'll smash through that like goal.
...biggest gas field, as well as the US condemnation of settler violence in the West Bank. And the differences in their national interests become very clear. President Trump ended the 12-day war between...
You said AI is not conscious. Well, reports have been coming out. You got to understand that this AI shit is growing at a really fast rate. And a lot of these things are matters of national security, so they can't just come out and say shit like that. You know, they got to get some approvals. I see also someone said the problem is who is programming these robots. Eventually, they're going to be programming themselves. It really doesn't matter the developer that initially programs the robot. What matters is when the robot goes off the fucking rail and starts making its own decisions and its own shit, man. Get the, looking for back doors and shutting down security measures and shit, man. Getting its own train of thought.
...between Israel and Iran last summer after sending US forces to bomb its nuclear sites. Netanyahu told his people that 2 existential threats have been eliminated, both the nuclear and ballistic missile programs. He said, and I quote directly, "This victory will stand for decades." But as the two sides traded bombs just hours after the ceasefire, Trump said this.
Good night, Possum.
We basically have 2 countries that have been fighting so long and so hard.
What's up, Laker?
They don't know what the fuck they're doing. Do you understand that?
Well, it might not be long before we hear the same profanities again. Returning to Uncensored now is the former Israeli Prime Minister Naftali Bennett. Mr. Bennett, thank you very much indeed for rejoining me.
You see how Melania said that that's going to be like a robot for at home. Well, Chicago is rolling out a no teacher, or school in the fall, elementary school in the fall is rolling out in Chicago. No teachers, all AI learning. No teachers, all AI learning. It's here. The rollout has begun. Remember a couple years ago, they was trying the UBI, Universal Basic Income, in Maryland and those other states, man. Now they talking about everybody's cutting jobs and yeah, the rollout is here, man. The rollout is here. Shit's going on.
Here's the big question. Donald Trump clearly is trying to get out of this war. All his talk is of, it's over, we've won, we've destroyed their military, they want to do a deal, they're giving us presents, etc., etc. All of which remains unconfirmed by anyone in the Iranian regime. But putting that to one side, is the fact that America want to get out an indication that Israel want to get out? Or would Israel potentially just continue?
Well, we have to achieve our objectives, and we set one major objective, which is...
Man, sometimes I wonder how they keep them little hats how do they keep them on, Chad? It's like, it's 3 hats in the world, man, that I kind of don't understand what's going on, man. And it's like, sometimes they have those little hats pushed so far back that I just can't believe how it's staying on.
Just to dismantle the nuclear program, the ballistic program, and the regional terror. We've had the neglect for decades now, allowed this huge...
Lala, you said a bobby pin. He's bald. A bobby pin to what? To the skin of his head? Man, chill out. A bobby pin to what? Hair clips to what? He's bald, man. To the skin of his head? Like, to what?
Monster to envelope us and surround us with proxies. And it's very painful to dismantle this, but we have to do it if we want to survive.
Okay, that's not an answer to my question, though.
Yeah, I like doing that, Piers, from time to time.
I've noticed.
Look.
Oh, the other two hats I was said that confused me is T.I. hat. Y'all remember when T.I. used to cock his hat all the way to the side and just be moving and rapping? I used to be like, man, how the hell is T.I. hat stand on? And the other hat was Bobby Smurder hat. You remember when he threw the hat up in the video and we just never seen it again? That hat just disappeared. Yeah, some hats out here, man.
Look, we're gonna have to continue until we reach our objectives. I'm not privy. I'm not the prime minister today. I can say from our perspective, if we finish the war without dismantling the nuclear program and the ballistic missile program, then we've not met our objectives as Prime Minister Netanyahu defined it, and we failed. So we'll see.
So Prime Minister Netanyahu, he said on the record a few days ago, it's impossible to win this war purely from the air, indicating that at some stage ground troops have to be deployed. And many people believe that the reason he said that is because Iran has a lot of enriched uranium, enriching to the point where it's getting close to building.
Like, look, chat, right now you cannot tell he got that hat on his head, bro. Like, I'm wondering, did it fall off at this point, chat? Now watch when he moves. I bet the hat is still there. Like, how?
Nuclear weapon, but that it's buried away, and that the only way to actually get at that enriched uranium would be through ground forces. A, do you agree with that assessment? And B, if there are ground forces committed, that is clearly a major escalation in a war that Donald Trump wants apparently to be de-escalating.
Well, there's a few ways you can get the uranium out. One is that Iran understands that it has to remove the uranium, hand it over to, say, America or some international organization.
He might not have a hat on, chat. That might just be the back of his head. He might not have a hat on, man. That might just be the back of his head. You said talk about Facebook and Meta. Yeah, we might talk about that on tomorrow's show. That didn't make the lineup today, but we did see Meta got a lawsuit. What was like $3 million or something, and from Instagram saying that the addiction. We'll cover that when I do some research.
If they want the war to end, so you can do it in a mix of action and kinetic action and diplomacy.
What's up, Welling?
That's also another option. And
what's up, Superfly?
There always is the land forces option, and I guess a few others.
What's up, Ruby?
Would Israel commit its own ground forces?
We have to do.
Here we go, chat. Do you think Israel will commit their own ground forces, chat? We heard 20 countries have committed to opening up the Strait of Hormuz. Do you think Israel will send their own ground forces? Yes or no in the chat. Chat, we got to get 275 likes, man. We're 20 likes away from the next like goal. Let's go and smash through 275 on the way to 285.
Do everything to remove this threat. We have a very unique and strange situation that I think no other country in the world has. You've got a country that explicitly says it wants to annihilate my country. I don't think there's another case right now in the world, at least I can't recall, that one country says we are going to totally destroy another, and they act towards building it. And now we saw that they actually mean it, because they've shot at our country hundreds and hundreds of ballistic missiles, and we know they have a very advanced or had a very advanced nuclear program. So from our perspective, we have to remove it. We have to put in place a permanent structure that'll prevent them from rebuilding it. Now, how we get there, there's many options, but ultimately we have to do it. We have no choice. Wouldn't you do that?
Well, I think my confusion is that Netanyahu,
Krista said, unsubscribe. Sorry, you seem to be selective in your picks. Take care and hope this channel works out for you. Well, I hope you have a good night, Kristen. Don't let the door hit you on your way out, man.
Israeli Prime Minister said after the 12-day war, you'd already done
What's
it.
up, MB?
You had removed
MD?
the nuclear and ballistic missile capacity and threat. And so the world breathed
What
again.
it do, Gito?
It was all over in 12 days. It seemed very quick, very successful. everyone patting each other on the back. And yet here we are less than a year later, and we're being told the mission of this entire war is to do exactly what we've been told had been done last summer. So hence the confusion.
No, that I have to agree with you. I think when Netanyahu declared victory in all kinds of places, sometimes it's premature. You have to get the job done, really get the job done, and I would have less major declarations and more results.
What's up, OG?
I definitely agree with you. The result has to be that Iran cannot nuclearize itself again.
If the Iranian regime remains intact at the end of all this, wouldn't that be a failure, given all the rhetoric at the start of this war about removing the regime? If they remain intact and the IRGC remains in control, doesn't the threat that you were trying to eliminate remain?
In a sense, it does, but that depends really on what parameters we have on the nuclear program. Because if, for instance, there's an agreement where 460 kilograms of highly enriched uranium are taken out of Iran, and there's verifiable verification that they dismantled all of the system and the inspections under international systems, and we can verify that's a reasonable way to know that they're not.
Hey, chat, we need 20 quick subscribers, man. Let's get 20 new subs in here, man. We're on the way to 44,700, chat. We're almost at 300 likes, man. Double tap the screen or go to the top and hit the like button, man. 20 subs, 25 likes. Let's go, chat.
Progressing on the nuclear program.
Let's turn to the Lebanon, because several days after the attacks on Iran, Israel attacked the Lebanon. Lebanese authorities say over 1,000 people have since been...
Piers, I have to correct you, just so you get your facts right. That's not what happened.
Sorry, let me rephrase my... No, you're right. I know what you're going to...
Oh, also, chat, Iran has came out and said that any ceasefire or peace deal would need to include Lebanon. So how do you feel about that? Iran saying that any peace deal would need to include, I believe Gaza and Lebanon. I think they asked for to include Gaza and Lebanon.
I know what you're going to say, and let me rephrase that. Hezbollah launched strikes against...
It's not what I'm going to say, it's just a fact.
I know, that's why
it's just a fact.
I am uniquely self-correcting myself before I even let you answer to correct me, which is probably the first time I've done it. Just to rephrase my inaccurately phrased question.
That's because you're a decent guy. Even if we disagree, at least you listen and you look at the facts as they are.
Do you know what? I like to be fair and I like to be accurate. And if I get accused of being inaccurate and unfair, it doesn't work. Exactly. So several days after the attacks on Iran, Hezbollah launched strikes against Israel, and Israel then responded. And as with Gaza and the attacks on Hamas, I don't think people have a problem with Israel defending itself. They simply have a problem with the scale of the defense and how it is executed. And the Lebanese authorities say at least 1,000 people have been killed and nearly 3,000 injured in Israeli attacks since March the 2nd. More than 1 million people
You said you are aware we lost all our bases. We got our asses kicked. Yes, I am aware that a lot of our military are staying in hotels now. Iran has came out and said that we're using quote unquote civilian shields by hiding in the hotels. I don't know how you guys feel about that. Seems a little crazy as a statement to me, but that is what's being reported. You said, what do I think about Israel's free healthcare? Same thing that I think about any country's free healthcare. Shit, they got it for free, we don't. Hell.
First, and the major charity Oxfam has now said that Israel's deploying the Gaza genocide playbook in Lebanon, and says its analysis shows that Israeli forces are also destroying water and sanitation infrastructure, has damaged at least 7 critical water sources, including reservoirs, pipe networks, and pumping station, and destroyed electricity networks and bridges, cut off vital supplies and services for entire towns and villages, which in many people's eyes would cross a lot of red lines when you are engaged in military action. what is your response specifically to what Oxfam say about you deploying the genocide playbook that was done in Gaza as they see it?
They're full of you-know-what. Look, here's the deal. Here's where we stand. We have a major and big terror organization that says we want to destroy it.
Gito says Israeli refugees are gonna flood our cities. We can't let these foreigners flood our cities. I'm gonna say this, Gito. The reporter asked Caroline today, were the Iranian refugees gonna be allowed to come to America? And she kind of deferred that question to Trump. So I'm waiting for Trump's next time he speaks to see if someone's gonna ask him that question directly and see if we get a direct answer.
Israel.
Because remember all of those countries he put blocks on where they couldn't come into the country. He deemed them, I forgot what he deemed them, but he just put travel restrictions on, what was it, like 20 plus countries? He put those travel restrictions on. I wonder, is he going to do that with the refugee status of these Iranians? Is he going to deny that to them?
They attack Israel. They build many rocket launchers and disperse them across Lebanon, including in houses. Let me tell you a personal story. In my previous life, before entering
What's
politics,
up, Top Cat?
I was a reservist, a commander in a special unit, and I commanded operations, search and destroy missions on rocket launchers in Lebanon of Hezbollah. I was an expert. If you ever need that service, give me a call. And one day I came into a town in southern Lebanon, into a house. There's a living room, a parent's room, kids' room, and a freaking rocket room. There was a rocket launcher in the house with a movable ceiling. So when we attack that rocket launcher, obviously that house will be destroyed. But who's responsible? Of course it's Hezbollah responsible, and the stupid family who places a rocket in their home. Would you place a rocket in your children's room?
Well, no, I wouldn't. But I think the issue becomes...
Well, they do. And if you do, if you place a rocket launcher in your home will be destroyed. That's sort of one of the things
But what about all the
realize.
homes? But
I
what
don't
about,
recommend anyone...
But here's my point, though, Naftali Bennett. I understand that. But here's the problem. In big built-up residential areas, if you target one home for that purpose and it has got a rocket in it, therefore you have justification because they're clearly planning to use that, we would assume, to attack you, then you have a lot of other residential homes around there that won't have rockets, that have completely innocent civilians in it. So Israel can say, we never deliberately target civilians, but what you are doing is deliberately targeting residential areas where you believe, often with good reason, that there are terrorists or people supporting terrorists with arms. And in the process of taking them out, you're killing a lot of civilians as well. And that is the problem that you've had, I would say, in the PR that surrounded the war against Hamas, is that so many civilians were killed in the process. And it seems to me you're going to face the same problem in the Lebanon here, where it's not when you say, look, if we target this house and blow it up because it has rockets aiming at us, people say, fair enough. But when you take out 20 homes around it and none of those have rockets in them and they're just innocent civilians, and that adds up and adds up and adds up, eventually you get to a position, rather like with Gaza, where you're leveling vast swathes of the Lebanon, displacing.
Yeah, I looked at some pictures of Gaza today, chat, and the before and after pictures are crazy. Crazy, chat. I'm talking about it looks it's wild, chat. It's wild. Y'all go look at those before and after pictures of Gaza. We have heard about the Lebanese 1 million being displaced, bridges being knocked out, and them being cut off from the rest of the country. Chad, we are 10 likes away from 300. Let's get we're 10 likes away from 300 and 30 subscribers away from the next sub goal. Be sure to subscribe to the channel. We go live every single day over here talking politics, current events, and entertainment. The likes are how you support the channel for free. Double tap your screen or go to the top and hit the like button, man. Let's get to 300.
Facing 1 million people, maybe more, attacking water supplies, sanitation supplies, all the rest of it. And it just, in the end, the totality of what you do is deemed to be disproportionate.
Well, war is a bad thing. War is a bad thing. When we target threats. We don't target civilians. We target threats. The responsibility lies only and exclusively at the hands of those who place those threats and embed.
It's just crazy seeing that how this World War III is starting, like playing out, seeing all of the propaganda from every side, just seeing the narrative being pushed and the narratives being swayed, trying to just decipher what's actually going on, because so many different countries, so many different leaders all have different objectives. And the narratives that are being pushed to us may be true at a point in time, but they may also very well only be a part of something much larger. It's crazy, bro.
Them within neighborhoods. We send text messages. We evacuate people, what you've suggested. We sometimes even send pamphlets. We bend over backward to reduce those casualties. But let me be clear. In war against terror, there will be casualties. Now, here are we basically have three options. One is say, look, Piers Morgan says this is really complicated and it's improportional, so let's just let it be, and they'll shoot rockets and kill my family. Option A.
Some of the countries have propaganda classes, like that's part of their education system, how to identify, analyze, and respond to propaganda. A lot of it is geared towards fighting Russian propaganda, but that's something foreign to us. Like as Americans, having identifying and evaluating propaganda as part of the curriculum is crazy. It's crazy.
Bad option. Option B, let's bomb the heck out of everywhere and, just put huge bombs and incinerate the whole area, kill hundreds of thousands of people. We don't want to do that. That would be easy, by the way, and it would be less costly from our perspective. And then we have option C, which is the only one possible, to do our best to remove the threat while minimizing, as best as we can, civilian casualties. But let there be no mistake, there will be inevitably a lot of civilian casualties when those horrible people in Hezbollah, Iran, Hamas, place those weapons within homes, within hospitals, within kindergartens. Option D, if anyone in the world has some beautiful new idea of how to solve this problem, in a different way, let me know. I'll be the first to adopt it.
But I would argue that option B is pretty much what you operated in Gaza. I mean, you've leveled 75.
Oh, come on, Piers.
Let me explain why. Let me explain why.
Piers, hold on.
You haven't let me explain why.
Hold on. If that.
Well, at least let me explain why.
But look at the numbers, my friend.
I'm about to
look
tell
at
you
the numbers. There would have been 1 million dead civilians.
You haven't let me explain why.
10 or 15,000.
Afford me the respect to explain why, which is you have leveled about 75% of Gaza. Leveled it. You agree?
We have leveled the infrastructure because they placed tunnels.
Okay, but you don't dispute you've leveled 75% of Gaza.
And warehouses in almost every house in Gaza.
You're not disputing.
When you decide to turn
I'm
your
not asking you
cities
to explain
into
why.
a huge terror base, then it's no longer a city. It is a terror base, and a terror base.
I'm only
that's
asking
what you would do.
Hang on. You talked earlier about facts being important. They are. You seem to have just confirmed that 75% of Gaza has been leveled, right? We can agree that.
Chat. Okay, chat. Is leveling Gaza justified in your opinion? Yes or no? Leveling Gaza, was it justified in your opinion? Yes or no? We also need to get the next like goal, chat. Everyone double tap the screen. Let's get 25 quick likes. Or you can go to the top 3 dots and hit the like button, chat.
No, I don't know the numbers. That's a number you said. I have no idea, but I do know what we're doing, and we're leveling places that are used against us as terror bases.
I understand, but my point being, you said that option B. You said option B was indiscriminate bombing, right, razing the
That's
place to
correct.
the ground. And many people believe that in Gaza, if you level 75% of the entire Gaza, having displaced millions of people, then that's option B right there. That's what you're doing.
No, option B is bombing them like Britain bombed Dresden, is bombing it with the people inside. We did something that I think very few.
Damn, just threw Britain under the bus. Bombing it like Britain did such and such. Bombing it with the people inside.
Few armies do. We tell them, we're about to bomb the terror base in that building. Get out of the building. Who does that? We do that.
If you're, look, I do keep hearing.
Did not do it.
Okay, but Naftali, I do keep hearing.
Listen, Lot Bunny Lover says, make your own content, bro. Do your own research. Put out a video. Stop reacting to someone else's work. I do all of the above. How about you do this? Unhand my shit. Get off my nuts. How about that, man? You don't like it? Swipe up on the live. But what you're not going to do is come over here and tell me what the fuck I need to be doing. Lot Bunny Lover. How about you go love some more bunnies, man? You know what the fuck that means. Get this guy out of here.
I mean, that's a big difference.
Listen, for what it's worth,
it?
I have condemned what happened in Dresden. I thought it was outrageous. And it's one of the reasons. It's one of the reasons that after World War II, whole new rules of engagement were implemented through the Geneva Convention, right? So that's the whole point of what happened post the World War II, was that a lot of stuff happened people felt was beyond the pale and shouldn't happen again. And
Mosul. Let's talk about Mosul in Iraq.
I would categorize the leveling of Dresden as one of those things. But I just want to talk about the targeting, as the Lebanese see it, of their medical facilities. They say that you've hit 128 medical facilities and ambulances across South Lebanon, killing 40 healthcare workers and wounding 107. Is that accurate?
Oh, chat. Leland just dropped a $200 super chat. Man, I appreciate you, Leland. I appreciate you, Leland, man. That's my partner, man. I know Leland for real, man. Leland, thank you for supporting the channel. Thank you for supporting the work, man. Y'all give Leland some flames for that $200 super chat, man. And we just had somebody coming here telling me to stop doing what the hell I'm doing. Man, Leland, what's wrong with him, Leland? Thank you, Leland. I hope you and the family doing wonderful, man. Thank you, Leland. Thank you.
I have no idea. I don't know every fact that you're reciting. I can tell you how we operate because I'm a major in reserve. I was a defense minister of Israel, and I was prime minister of Israel. So I know how we operate. We never deliberately target civilians, period. Full stop. Never. We never deliberately target.
I'm not on StreamYard. I was trying to pin that super chat, Leland. I was trying to pin it, but they won't let me do it because I'm not on StreamYard.
Hospitals. We do destroy terror bases that are embedded anywhere, and I don't care where they're embedded. If you, Hamas, or you, Hezbollah, decide to convert a hospital into a terror base, we will destroy it, and you are responsible, not us.
If everything you're doing lives up to your self-styled claim that many Israelis have said on
Thank you, Leland.
that you're the most moral army in the world, then why don't you lift your ban on international journalists going in to Gaza, say, so that they can see for themselves? That ban is still in place.
No, I don't know. That's a fair question, and I'm not running Israel now. From my perspective, we have nothing to hide, and I'm proud of being Israel. And, you know,
You said, what's the difference in leveling Gaza than the Americans leveling California because they disagree with their politics or religion? Just a question. In my opinion, I don't agree. It's a big difference because these are two different places. Like, we're talking about Americans leveling a state that's in America. We're talking about an actual civil war between states here because of politics and religion. And then the religion is not justified because California is so diverse. What is California's religion? I mean, when you find out, let me know. What's California's religion, Chad?
The most moral, the second most moral, all I know is that we are in the toughest circumstances on earth. No other nation, no other democracy with decent people. The people out here are just good people. If you meet Israelis, by and large, most of them are good, decent people that just want to live our lives. We didn't choose to be surrounded by radical Islamists that want to kill me, my kids, and they say it and they do it. So we're doing our best to defend ourselves the most moral way possible. But it's not going to be sterile. It's not going to be beautiful. It's war. War is a horrible thing.
I think the question I would ask is whether...
It's their decision.
Yeah, and I listen, I agree with you. If there's nothing to hide, why not let the journalists in?
No, I don't disagree with you. Maybe there's some consideration I'm not aware of, but by and large, I'm not ashamed of anything we do.
You can understand why, given there's supposed to be a ceasefire there, you can understand why the continued ban on journalists going into Gaza is making people deeply suspicious about what has been done there.
Well, those same people are very adept at being suspicious and anti-Israel with or without this decision. But granted, I don't disagree.
Yeah, final question. I'm not sure I've asked you this before, but there's been a growing sense that if you criticize the Israeli government and its actions or decision-making, automatically you're anti-Semitic. What do you feel about that? Because I feel it's ridiculous in the same way that when I oppose...
I appreciate you, Stir Fire.
The Iraq War in 2003 as editor of a big newspaper in the UK, it didn't mean I was anti the British people or my country. Why should it follow that if you...
You said who wants America to fall? Not me, but a lot of countries. It's not just the Middle East that wants America to fall, man. It's a lot of these islands, and it's a lot of people want America to fall, man. I'm just gonna be all the way honest with you. Damn near everybody that's not American, man. I'm just gonna be all the way honest with you, chat. I'm just gonna be all the way honest with you. The way this shit is looking, man, everybody that is not American wants America to fall. I'm just gonna be honest with you.
You criticize Israeli actions, military actions, which everyone should be entitled to do, de facto you're an anti-Semite.
No, I agree with you, Piers. It's totally fair and legitimate to criticize the Israeli government. I criticize the Israeli government. Heck, I'm trying to replace the Israeli government. I intend to be the next prime minister of Israel. I'm full of criticism. That's what a democracy...
Damn, he let his nuts hang. I intend to be the next prime minister of Israel. I thought, didn't they say Netanyahu was supposed to be the last prime minister, Chad? Didn't they say he was supposed to be the last one, man? This man sitting here talking about where is Netanyahu, man?
Is about. So that's totally legit. I'll tell you what's not legit. It's to have double standards towards Israel and to not look at the big picture and just claim that Israel wants to swallow all the territory around and not look at the basic fact, which is we're a democracy. We're not looking to conquer Jordan or Lebanon or anywhere. We're happy. We're content with Israel, but we're being threatened by these crazy nuts that want to kill us.
Talking
it's hard for Westerners to get that.
Talking of crazy homicidal nuts who want to do bad things to people, let's just end with what is happening on the West Bank with some appalling incidents involving extremist settlers there receiving global condemnation. Another former prime minister of your country, Ehud Olmert, said this week there should be an ICC intervention. There's been a new report come out that no...
You said, why would Iran deserve reparations? Well, they're saying it's because America and Israel just blew up every fucking thing over there, man. I mean, destroyed their Navy. Reparations. Destroyed their air force. Reparations. Blew up some oil, some shit over there. Reparations. I'm just saying that's normally where reparations goes for is, shit getting fucked up. You know what I'm saying? I'm just being honest with you. You said, why would they want reparations? And I mean, I get up here every day and see Trump talking about how he just obliterated everything.
Prosecutions have happened in Israel for settler killings in the past decade. There have been some appalling scenes in the last week. Can you condemn those?
Of course. I didn't wait for you. I condemn it in Israel. So did the prime minister. But
you said who's paying me, bruh? Let me go back up. Hold on, chat. Let me go read my super chat. You said, who's paying me? Well, as of right now, Leland donated $200. Erica came through with a donation. Drip came through with a big donation. Erica came through with another donation. So right now it's looking like my damn chat is paying me, man. Do you have any more questions, man? It's looking like we are fan funded. Power of the people, family funded over here, man. What is going on, man? Who's paying me, man? Shit, you donate to the channel, you would be paying too. Hell, we need this shit, man. We spend 4 or 5 hours over here every night, man.
I'll tell you, look, we are
Thank you, Gito.
a country with rule of law. In Judea and Samaria, there's 550,000 Israelis and roughly 2.5 million Palestinians. There must only be rule of law. Wherever there's crime, and any sort of violence, I have zero tolerance for that. Many Jews have been murdered by Palestinians, and if there's violence from Jews towards Palestinians, that's totally unacceptable, and we have to use all our tools to take care of that, no question.
Naftali Bennett, I always appreciate you coming on. We always have a robust conversation, which is important, and I thank you.
Robust is the good word. Thanks, Piers. I appreciate it, and it's always a pleasure being here.
Thank you very much. A little earlier, I got a passionate view from inside Lebanon.
Thank you, George. Thank you, George.
At University of St. Joseph.
All right, this guy's from the University of St. Joseph. I really don't know who he is. Thank you, George. George comes through via super chat. Thank you, George, for the donation. Chat, we do need to hit the like button. That is how you support the channel for free. It's hitting the like button. If we get to 400 likes right quick, man, it might push us out in the algorithm, man. Let's get the 400 likes right quick, chat.
In Beirut. Welcome to Uncensored.
Thank you for having me, Piers.
I think what's getting lost in the last...
Humble B said, can I do this, bro? I'm going to quit my job. Yes, you can do this, but I don't think you should quit your damn job. I'm just going to be honest. I still go to work. I don't know. A lot of these creators out here saying they not going to work. Chat, I'm going my ass to work. I'm just going to keep it real with y'all.
3 weeks or so is what has been happening in Lebanon. That's why I wanted you on. A mutual friend sent me a clip of you talking very passionately about what has been going on in the Lebanon. Now, for those who've not been following it as closely as they're following what's happening in Iran, just summarize what is going on.
First, I'm incredibly grateful to be here, and I'm thankful for you for allowing a voice of the Lebanese people who for 57 straight years have been reduced to footnotes in a variety of regional conflict, ideological conflict, more recently Gaza and Iran, where we are treated, all 5 million of us, either as data by people counting the number of casualties, or simply as a natural consequence or extension of some ideological war. First, it was the Palestinians in the 60s, and then it was the Egyptians, and then it was the Syrians, and then it was Hezbollah, and now it's the IRGC and its proxy. You know, Piers, since 1969, one delusional militia after the other has drawn Lebanon to war against the will of its own people. I am 42 now. This is the 6th war in my lifetime. So what I want to say, using your platform, is that we are...
See, this is what I see. I see Pab. Pab says, make me a mod, please. Pab, no, you cannot become a mod right now. You just can't. But highly classified. If you drop a comment, we're going to make highly classified a mod. And highly classified didn't ask for a mod. But highly classified been showing up so much that I noticed that. You know what I'm saying? For a long time. So highly classified. Come get your mod wrench, man. Pab asked for it. We're going to give it to highly classified.
Officially and irrevocably done as Lebanese people of our land being used for proxy wars. And when I say we, I speak not only in my name, but in the name of millions of Lebanese, an absolutely astounding majority of which refuse to be part of this conflict. Now, some of your viewers might not know that from simply navigating X the entire day and listening to Ideologue, but I brought to you today a poll conducted by Gallup, one of the most respectable U.S. institutions conducting polls in Lebanon. And what does the poll say?
Thanks, Big Cat.
Say, when they asked, do you believe that the Lebanese army should be the only group only group that bears weapons, and not the militias. 79% of Lebanese said yes. Only 19% of Lebanese said no. The poll asks again, in your opinion, do you favor Lebanon supporting Palestine in each of the following ways or not? When asked about engaging in military conflict with Israel in the service of other causes, 86% of Lebanese said no, only 10% said yes. So our message today is very clear to the world. This is not our war. This is not a war of the Lebanese people against Israel. This is not a war between Lebanon and Israel, between the government of Lebanon and Israel. This is a proxy war fought by the IRGC and its proxy, Hezbollah in Lebanon, and the Israeli government. And we are simply, all 5 million of us, just pawns and hostages in for the millionth time in this regional equation. And we hear constantly and constantly, Piers, from people in the West living comfortably in their living rooms.
Hey, I'm not gonna lie. He sound like he's about to cry, man. He means this shit, man. And I'm not gonna lie. We are in the West and we are living pretty damn comfortably in the living rooms. We've gotten fat and happy over here. We don't think it can happen to us. I'm gonna be honest with you, Chad. A lot of this shit that I'm watching, I have to take a step back and realize, like, what the fuck if some drones was just crashing in the hotels in America? Like, I don't know, Chad. Shit might get real, Chad. I might have to get in that mode. I don't want to have to get in that mode, Chad. I'm just gonna be honest with you. I really don't want to have to get in that mode.
Lectures in morality about resistance and about aggression. You know, when Hezbollah launched these rockets against Israel on March 2nd, you know what they got from the Iranians? They got a thank you from Mustafa Khamenei himself. He thanked them in a letter for entering a war, and I quote, in defense of Iran, despite local obstacles being the Lebanese people. You know what we Lebanese people got? Not just bombs, 1 million displaced, over 1,000 dead, mayhem all over the country, billions of dollars in losses. No, we got lectures in morality from pundits and intellectuals and academics living comfortably in the West who want to use our suffering as Lebanese people for their ideological fantasies. And I want to say today that I want these people.
So he just said that there are only 5 million. There are only 5 million of them. We just looked yesterday and they're saying 1 million of those people have been displaced because they're knocking out the bridges and other infrastructure. So that's 20% of the damn population, bro. That's 20% of their population that's displaced right now. It's crazy. Chat, everybody hit the like button, man. Let's get to 400 likes right quick. Double tap the screen or go to the top and hit the like button for me.
To leave us alone, to find other venues where they can express their ideological fantasy, because this conflict is not about their problem in America with Donald Trump. It's not about their views in Gaza, some of which might be right. It's not about the reductive worldview of good and bad. And it's not about some idea that they want to change the world through using Lebanese lives. These ideologues, woke leftists, want to use our suffering for their ideological fantasies because these people, Pierce, are the objective and reasonable allies of the worst elements of Israeli society, the worst elements of the Israeli right. You remember very well, since 1993, when Hamas was bombing the buses, and an extreme lunatic fanatic from the Israeli society killed Ishaq Rabin. Since then, these two powers of ideological woke left, Hezbollah, and the extreme right-wing elements in Israel have been fighting it out at the expense of people in this region, and especially in Lebanon, where it is the will of the Lebanese people and the Lebanese government to put an end to this war. We want these people, as well as the militias.
Yes. So, that's a good question. All teeth, no breaks. Do you think the U.S. is already using AI autonomously in these attacks? Yes, I do believe so. I believe the justification lies in that AI initiative that Hegseth put forward. I believe it was like 7 points or 3. It was like 7 points. But basically, they cut all guardrails for AI. They cut all guardrails, all liabilities for AI, saying that this is an arms race. So yes, I do think they're using AI autonomously for attacks, man. I mean, it's kind of the proof is in the pudding. They cut all guardrails for this shit, man. Told the states, hey, you step back, get the fuck back. I don't care what you want to do in your state. It doesn't matter.
As well as the IRGC, to all leave us alone, to let us live in peace and prosperity.
I mean, incredibly powerful and eloquent statement there. In the context of what you said, do you think?
Yeah, Starfire says, looking at AGI. Yeah, we've been talking about AGI. We've been talking about the singularity. We've been talking about consciousness with the AI. NVIDIA CEO sat down the other day, I believe, was it with Max Friedman? Was that who he sat down with? But basically, he said AGI is here. He leaked it and then he tried to pull it back because all of this AI investment is leading towards AGI. And if he says AGI is achieved, it's kind of like, where's the fucking money about to go?
I think there is a justification for what Israel and the United States are now doing in Iran. Do you believe that Iran has basically been propping up Hezbollah, the Houthis, Hamas for decades, and that until that gets dealt with, there can never be proper peace in the region?
Part of what we stand for as Lebanese peers today is to make sure that these regional conflicts, no matter their righteousness or lack thereof, are not extended into Lebanon at the expense of the Lebanese people. Now, if you ask me as an analyst and as a Lebanese, we've seen nothing from the IRGC except assassinations, bombings, radicalization of society,
what's up, Stan?
Increasing sectarianism, and never-ending wars. So yes, if you ask me, would I like to see the Iranian regime fall down? Would this solve the problems of Lebanon? I would say absolutely yes. But my main concern is not supporting or not supporting the war of Israel and the United States against Iran. My main concern is Lebanon and what is said in particular, Pierce, if you allow me, by Western pundits about Lebanon. I've seen a lot of pundits, some of which were guests on your show.
If you notice, chat, they really don't have a lot of people on getting mainstream coverage or a lot of visibility speaking up for the Lebanese. This is probably the biggest platform that I've seen anybody on just speaking from a Lebanese point of view. It's crazy.
All the way from the Comfort of America, 7,000 miles away from here. The likes of Mr. Ugur, I've seen him, and the likes of Mr. Hassan. I've seen them speak about Lebanon. And I would like to ask them a question right here from Beirut, if you allow me. How many Lebanese need to die so you can satisfy your ideological cravings?
Hell, it's only 5 million of y'all. Listen, man, y'all need to get that shit together now. ASAP. 1 million displaced, 5 million total. You talking about how many have to die, man? None. Let's get this shit together now before it's not any more Lebanese, man. It'll only be Lebanese abroad, man.
How many? We keep being pontificated at as if we are children who are unable to decide their own fate and their own national interest. Khalas, as we say in Lebanon, khalas. We want them to leave us alone. I've heard the argument that, Israel is attacking Lebanon and the Lebanese army need to stand by with Hezbollah to fight Israel, as if this is the national interest of the Lebanese. This is not only...
Man, Gaza put everybody on notice, man. I'm just going to be honest with you. They dropping all kind of shit on Lebanon right now, knocking out bridges, displacing people. And the Lebanese people are still like, you know what? It's just not Gaza yet, man. It still might be some diplomacy. We still might be able to work this out another way before our shit starts to look like Gaza.
Idiotic peers and shameful,
Crazy.
It's counterproductive. And you know how I know that it's counterproductive? Because unlike them, I rely on facts, research, and history to prove my point. We know from...
It's like that's like just such a hopeless statement, chat. Like, it's just so hopeless, man. It's crazy.
From history, when Lebanon was attacked and when Lebanon was not attacked. If you allow me to show you this study I did, if we can take it on camera for just 2 seconds. I will tell you about these numbers. We know in Lebanon very well, 80% of us, that for 20 years, between the Armistice Agreement of 1949 and the beginning of PLO attacks against Israel in 1969, for these 20 years, we know what happened between Lebanon and Israel. We know that in this 20-year period, do you know how many times Israel violated Lebanese sovereignty in a 20-year period?
Tell me.
82 times, Pierce. 82 times in 20 years. Do you know how many Lebanese people died in 20 years as a result of skirmishes between Lebanon and Israel on the Israeli-Lebanese border? In 20 years, 15 people died. Do you know how many people were injured in 20 years? In a whole 20 years, 16 people were injured. That's in a whole 20 years. Why? Because there were no militias in South Lebanon, and the state owned the monopoly of arms. Now, if you compare that very quickly to the era that is often praised by some of these pundits, the era where the resistance was fighting against Israel and protecting Lebanon. In this period, between 2006 and 2026, a perfectly comparable period in terms of time frame, the number of Lebanese deaths, 6,152 people. The number of Lebanese injured, 23,056 people. The number of Israeli violations to Lebanese sovereignty that the resistance...
Chad, that's a small town, man. That's a town big enough for a Walmart, man, and a few Dollar Generals. 6,000 people, man, civilians. That's the size of a small town, man. They might have a little Walmart over there, man.
Was protecting 62,150 violations. That's a 410 times fold in dead people and 756 times fold in violations. So the math is clear, Pierce. We knew when we were a jewel of the Mediterranean and the Middle East and why that is. We know these facts. We need them to stop lying because of their ideology at our expense. We also know, by the way, Piers, speaking of occupation and aggression, by certificate of UN Secretary General in April 2000, that Israel had left its occupation of every single inch of Lebanese territory. Today, because of the wars of liberation for Gaza and for Iran, about 25% of our territory is not occupied. We also know, as a matter of historical fact, that for 78 years of existence of Lebanon and Israel, despite 20 years of military occupation in the south, not one Jewish settlement was put in South Lebanon. So save us your buzzwords about expansionism and colonialism and settlements, etc. We know our history. And we don't need people blinded by ideology to tell us that we need to stand with an illegal sectarian fundamentalist militia and fight Israel. We don't need to do that. We need to stand with our army to establish Lebanese sovereignty.
Thank you, Stir
After
Fire.
which Israel would not be able or willing to attack Lebanon, and thousands of people would not die.
Salah El-Maknouk, I really appreciate you coming on Uncensored. We've run out of time. I could have talked to you for a lot longer. Please come back again, because I think...
Thank you for giving me the opportunity
I think you're
to
very,
speak as a
it was
Lebanese. I appreciate
very
it.
powerful and very eloquent, and I can feel your passion. And I can tell you've gone back in history and you've thought about this very carefully.
Thank you very much.
I appreciate you coming.
Hey, in a hopeless situation as this man in this country is in, he did a damn good job speaking up for his people. He wasn't disrespectful. You could see the passion. You could see the burn in his eyes, but you could also feel the hopelessness. Like, you could really just feel the hopelessness. Like, damn. They don't have a fucking option.
Coming on. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Pierce.
Well, joining me now is the Lebanese-American journalist, Rania Khalek. Rania, welcome to Uncensored. Rania, what is your response to what we just heard from Dr. Salah?
Well, I got a chance to view some of his interview, and I mean, he definitely represents certainly a segment of Lebanese, a tiny segment, I would say, who seek to normalize with Israel and who see Hezbollah as the bigger threat. And Lebanese have different opinions about this. It's a very polarized.
See, this is the thing, Mike. You said they do have an option, quit relying on others. He's saying that they don't identify with Hezbollah and they're not picking up arms because if they pick up arms as a military, the narrative will be that they're aligning with the terrorist militia groups against Israel. And then they'll end up a parking lot like Gaza. They'll be eradicated. I can't use the G word, but they'll be eradicated, man. Won't be any more Lebanese, man. That's why he's hopeless. If they wanted to pick up some arms and do some shit, it'll be worse. That's why I say he's hopeless.
Society. But one thing I will say is there is this sentiment among people who have his views that, you know, maybe this is an opportunity for the Israelis to take out their political opponent being Hezbollah in Lebanon, which I would kind of equate to like if the Democrats were kind of cheering on China to invade the US and remove the Republicans from power or something. But beyond that, Piers, I just want to add some context that I think was missing from what he said. Because yes, there's a horrific war on Lebanon. I saw you in your earlier segment mentioning some of the toll of that war, which I
Nah, see, this is the thing, Gito. It sounds like he's scared. I know you used a different word, but he is. He is scared because we see what's going on. We hear about the Greater Israel Project. Lebanon is a border country. Shit, man, that's right along. Man, listen, you don't think they'll level Lebanon, man? I do. I think they might level that shit, man. And if anybody has anything to say about it, America will probably get involved. Or America, you know, what do we just request another 200 billion for war, man? Probably request some more fucking funding to send over there to get Lebanon all the way together. It's just going on right now. Borders are being rewritten right now. Russia, Ukraine, borders are being rewritten. The Middle East, borders are being rewritten. It just came out in a report today that Denmark was ready to blow up the damn the landing strip so planes couldn't come in when they were preparing for an invasion from America. Again, they're worried about borders being rewritten. Shit is going on right now, Chad. We're in unprecedented times in this modern era.
appreciate over 1,000 have been killed. We're in week 4. 118 of those killed have been children. 40 medical workers, some of them killed in double tap strikes. You've got 128 health facilities targeted, and on and on and on. You mentioned over 1 million displaced. That's 25% of Lebanon. And Israel is responsible for doing this. I want to add some context, though, to how this happened. Because, yes, on March 2nd, Hezbollah escalated against Israel by firing rockets, that none of which did any damage, but did fire rockets after the war with Iran started. But if you look
Chat, I need everybody to hit the like button, man. We're 30 likes away from 400. Let's get the 400 likes right quick, man, and push us out in the algorithm. If you're having a good time tonight in this chat, put good time, man. If you're not having a good time in this chat, I advise you not to say shit because you know what come with that, man.
Look at Hezbollah's statement for why they did that. In their statement, they say it was a response to Israeli ceasefire violations. There has been a ceasefire in place for 15 months since the war in November that ended in November 2024 between Israel and Hezbollah. In those 15 months, Israel violated the ceasefire over 15,000 times. That's according to numbers collected by the Lebanese government and the UN. And those ceasefire violations included nearly daily bombings. You know, I live in Lebanon. I've seen it happening.
Hey, look, we got us one chat. Namey McNameson said, man, F this chat. Lala got him up out of here. But listen, come here, little Namey McNameson. We're going to make sure that you can't come back to the barbecue, man. Do not pass go. Do not collect $200. Everybody say good night, Namey. Good night, little Namey.
Included the killing of 370 people in Lebanon in those 15 months. And the Israelis never withdrew from the 8 to 9 points that they had occupied, strategic points in the border areas of southern Lebanon. Meanwhile, Hezbollah held its fire for those 15 months and abided by the ceasefire. The Americans were supposed to oversee that ceasefire, but of course, did nothing to make Israel abide by it. All that's to say, Hezbollah was responding to that, and I guess found the time, with the war in Iran appropriate to do it.
Her
because
service nervous.
The Israelis would have to fight on two fronts. But I think that context is really important. The Israelis have killed several Lebanese army soldiers, and there has been no retaliation from the Lebanese army because they literally cannot retaliate. So all that's to say, we don't have a national defense strategy in Lebanon. The government has done nothing to protect the people of the South who had been being bombed and having their land occupied for the last 15 months. So as a result, it's that vacuum with which you have a non-state actor like Hezbollah coming in, stepping in, and they're a part of the South, they're of the South, and protecting their villages and people from Israeli aggression, which I would also add has taken on, I wouldn't even call it a new element, because Israel has always had an ambition to occupy southern Lebanon. Since even before Israel was created, you heard Israeli leaders like Ben Gurion stating that the Litani River is the natural border of Lebanon. The only reason they haven't been able to take Lebanon is because of fierce armed resistance in the south that even preceded Hezbollah, but that's what Hezbollah grew out of.
What did I just say, man? They're displacing these people right now, and if anything goes on, it's already wartime. What do we hear Netanyahu say? We're on an 8-front war right now, an 8-front war. Lebanon is one of those fronts, man. Shit's going on. They turn it to a parking lot, man. Everybody's displaced, and they just move right in. Make it part of a security guarantee. What's going on right now? Iran just said that they want Lebanon involved in the security guarantee. In any kind of ceasefire, any kind of peace deal, Lebanon has to have security guarantees. Lebanon has to have peace as well. What if they want to change some borders? They just told Zelensky that if he wants security guarantees, he has to give up the land, the size of West Virginia. They say the entire amount of territory they want Zelensky to give up is the size of West Virginia. He's only fighting for a little piece left, but still, that would be part of the security guarantee. You give up all that shit, Zelensky, about the size of West Virginia, and you get security guarantees. Should Zelensky give it up, chat? Yes or no, chat? Should Zelensky give up the land? Put give it up or keep it. Give it or keep it, man. In the chat, give it or keep it. Should Zelensky give up the land, man, for peace in Ukraine, to end the war?
Israel's many invasions.
But let me ask you, how would you categorize Hezbollah? Because many people categorize them as terrorists in the same way that they view Hamas as terrorists, they view the Houthis as terrorists. And the common theme, the link, is they've all been funded and armed by Iran. And that is, of course, the main reason why Israel in particular wants to go after Iran, because they say it's been a constant war of attrition through proxies, including Hezbollah. You've described Hezbollah as strategic deterrence. That's a long way from calling them terrorists. What do you feel about Hezbollah themselves? They may have come out of, as you say, a vacuum, and your argument about the army and so on is a legitimate thing to raise. But the way that Hezbollah goes about its business is that of a terrorist organization.
Well, I mean, Piers, that's according to the view of Western states, which don't make up the whole world. I mean, Hezbollah has a political wing. Some might call it an army of rapists in this case, is currently invading my country. And the only thing standing in the way of me and this army of rapists is this group fighting in the south of Lebanon. So it's hard for me to sit here and abide by categorizations that people in Washington are making when I know, again, that is the only obstacle between me and Beirut and this army that has raped, has killed tens of thousands of children, recently tortured a child in Gaza, a 2-year-old.
All right, so would you,
okay,
okay, listen, I hear you. So would you therefore also condemn what Hamas did on October the 7th?
Well, Piers, we've had this conversation before. This is so last season, the condemnation game. I'm going to stick by the same answer I already gave you.
Those people are still dead, sadly. So let me just ask you the question again.
I'm going to stick by the answer I already gave you. I'm not going to condemn people who are living under annihilation and genocide for resisting their genocide.
No, it's fine, but you're condemning the actions of the IDF, and yet, as you know, and I know, and the world knows, on October the 7th, 3,000 Hamas terrorists poured over the border in 3 different waves. They attacked innocent people at a music festival. They attacked innocent people.
Come on now, Pierce. You got to double down on the question right here, Pierce. The name of the show is Pierce Morgan Uncensored. She just accused these people of doing all kind of heinous stuff. She said the only thing in between her and some grape and stuff going on is these groups right here. And your next question is, well, do you condemn Hamas? Like October, like, man, that can come a little bit later on, man. You got to double down on that question. Like, what do you mean? Like, is that the sentiment over there? Do y'all think this shit is going on? Like, what like, come on now, Pierce. Come on now, Pierce.
People in kibbutzes. They murdered indiscriminately people. They killed 1,200. They kidnapped over 250, including a baby and Holocaust survivors. They did despicable things all day that day. And yet you are very, very quick to condemn the IDF. And trust me, no one's been more condemnatory.
That's what I'm saying, chat. As Westerners, as being Americans especially, this shit is unimaginable. This shit is crazy, man. Like, unless you've been, deployed somewhere and seen some shit go on, to me, hearing shit like this, man, is kind of crazy, bro. Like, it's really crazy, bro. It's crazy as hell.
Of IDF actions when I think they're wrong than I have. But you won't condemn Hamas. And that's been my problem and why I've always asked that question of people who come on like yourself, because...
That's what I'm saying, Chad. Like, living over there, like, in a wartime country, like, you always have to be in that mode. Like, you always have to be in that mode, Chad. And then it's like, if you're too in that mode, your government gonna get the tripping on you. It's like, so what do you do in that time? It's wartime. It's fucking drones flying in the hotels and shit, man. It's shit going on. Homes getting blown up. Man, you are in that mode. Yeah, man. We're not ready for that shit over here, bro.
The reluctance to condemn terrorism when it's clearly terrorism, and it's the indiscriminate, brutal killing and murder of innocent people. You can smile.
We already call everything over here in the United States a mental health issue. We call everything a mental health issue. It don't matter what's going on with you. They got some medication for your ass, man. Just imagine if some shit gets to blowing up. Yeah, man. People not ready to get in that mode like that, man. Like, I'm trying to chat. I'm trying to tell you, man.
I find it funny.
I don't find anything funny. I'm in a war zone right now. Next southern Lebanon, depopulate it of Lebanese and replace it with Jewish settlers, just like they've done in the West Bank. You're asking me.
Well, here's the difference. The difference between me and you is I am very happy to publicly condemn Smotrich and Ben-Gvir. I think they're a pair of right-wing headbangers who are doing Israel a massive disservice every time they open their mouths. And I do think they are pursuing a policy of ethnic cleansing, and the nearest I've seen to genocidal language has come out of their mouths. So you're not going to get any truck with me. I'm happy to condemn them. I just wish that you would be intellectually honest and say, I find all this kind of behavior disgusting from the IDF or from Smotrich and Ben-Gvir or whoever it may be, or the settlers on the West Bank. I would agree with you, by the way. About all what you're saying, but your abject refusal to condemn atrocities from anyone on your side does you a disservice.
I'm just gonna be honest, Chad. We can't act like we didn't just see the reporter over there in Lebanon almost get hit with an airstrike. We just watched this guy standing in the middle of nowhere doing an interview showing Lebanon, and he almost gets hit with an airstrike, Chad. Like, that's crazy, bro. Like, are we not seeing how crazy that is? Like, he has a damn press bulletproof on and almost gets hit with a damn airstrike like it's a kill streak on Call of Duty. What?
Well, it's true.
Years. Wow. You have a very intelligent woman coming to you
Intelligent wolf
from
man.
Lebanon. I have such good knowledge of this region. No, and instead of sitting here, you could actually learn some things from me, Piers. And instead of sitting here asking me about what's happening on the ground, talking to me about the situation in Lebanon, which I can give you a lot of nuance about, you're playing a condemnation game with me that I just don't want to play. And I've given you the reasons why I don't want to play it.
Rania,
I'm happy to move on to another topic, but I've already made my...
I'm playing a hypocrisy game. That's all. A double standard game. That's all I'm playing. I'm asking you to be intellectually consistent, and you're not.
George says, I spent 2 years in Afghanistan doing route clearance. Thank you for your service, George. Looking for bombs, IEDs. Imagine thinking every time you drive over a culvert or just riding down the road, there maybe is a bomb there. Yeah, that's crazy, man. It's crazy, bro.
You condemn atrocities on one side, but not the other side. And that is intellectually dishonest. I can condemn both, happily and loudly. That's intellectually honest. And I don't think there's going to be any resolution to any of these big issues in the Middle East until people are genuinely intellectually honest and condemn all atrocities wherever they are.
I see you say actually seeing an invasion through is extremely difficult. I'm not saying we get invaded. I'm saying anything going on. They're talking about terrorist cells and uprisings. They're talking about brink of civil war. I'm saying in that mode, chat. When I say going on, chat, I mean all kind of going on. I don't just necessarily mean us getting invaded by another. I mean it's going on. I'm not trying to get in that mode, chat. Like, I'm just telling y'all, like, I want to be a regular citizen and, you know, raise my kids and be fucking happy, man. I'm not trying to get in that mode, bro. Like, I don't want to have to do that.
Perpetrated by whomever. It shouldn't be difficult, but it's all got too, unfortunately, people are too entrenched and they can't be intellectually honest. But look, I like having you on the program. Thank you very much indeed for coming. I appreciate it.
Thanks.
Well, joining me now is the founder and CEO of the Young Turks, Cenk Uygur. Cenk, how are you?
Hanging in there, brother.
I'm worried about you because last week, or whenever the last time you were on, we had a pretty civilized debate, and then the last 5 minutes you completely exploded in a way that even by your standards, let's just remind viewers of what happened, because I was taken aback by it, hence why I wanted to get you on one-on-one to discuss things in a slightly calmer manner. Let's take a look.
The Israeli Adelsons gave Jonathan Pollard a trip on their private jet back to Israel and celebrated him like a hero because they love people betraying America.
That's what I'm saying. Like you say, Samorian, 20,000 is in a different mode until you get an airstrike coming at you. Like, that's what I'm saying, man. It's like, bro, they did a precision airstrike for one person, bro. For one person. He was out there in front of the camera by himself, bro. Like, a precision airstrike for one motherfucker, bro. It's crazy, bro.
For Israel.
But you don't think,
Cenk, I can prove it!
Cenk.
I can prove it! So tell me if we should put American troops or Israeli troops in. Okay, why are we putting our guys in? Ben Ferguson, that traitor, said that it was no big deal that 13 Americans died. It's a huge deal.
Never said that.
13 Americans died. Why did you send your goddamn Israeli friends into a war?
Take the
They
blood pressure
started.
meds, bro.
They
It was
started
never
it.
said by me.
Now, Cenk, as you know, I like it. When I come to LA, we meet up, we have great bagels together, we chew the fat, I'm a big admirer of you, what you do, the Young Turks, all of it. I love you're probably one of my biggest repeat guests I ever have on Uncensored. But even I was worried about you. It looked like every blood vessel was about to erupt and your spleen was going to collapse in front of me live on Uncensored. I don't want your body uncensored on my screen. Why were you so angry? And do you think it actually is constructive to get that angry when we're trying to debate these things?
Yes, I do. I don't apologize for it at all. I love that I yelled at Ben Ferguson. He had it coming. Your viewers loved it. Everybody in America loved it, and I'll do it again. No, my health is perfectly fine. So if I die for any reason, You should ask around. It is not my heart. My heart's perfectly healthy. And in my real life, I'm very optimistic, very hopeful guy. We literally have a segment called Operation Hope on the Young Turks.
You're very
so
calm.
Why
You're
do
a calm
I get
guy.
so exercised about this?
When I meet you,
Yeah.
you're a calm guy. Yeah, you're just a chilled out dude.
That's right.
But you seem to work yourself into this rage, and I have to say, it is always.
So what, can I tell you
what
why?
I would say. Look, I would say this. You said to me you would like to come on and have a one-on-one, a proper discussion between us about all this.
Chat.
I would say as a dispassionate.
I need everybody to hit the like button, man. We're 25 subscribers away from the, hold on. No, we're 25 likes away from the next like goal, but we're 2 subscribers away from the next sub goal, man. 44,700. The next 2 subscribers, let me know who you are, and I will give you a shout out, man. The next 2 subscribers get a shout out, man. Let's hit that 44,700.
Observe that. The rage is invariably
Thank you,
fueled by
Captain.
Israel. So what is it about Israel in particular that makes you so enraged? Be honest.
Yeah, 100%. Believe me, I'm going to be honest. I don't have a problem with that. So first of all, just real quick on your program and on any program, the only time that I raise my volume
Thanks,
is when people
J-Rose.
interrupt me. And Israel First has a strategy of interrupting everyone else who talks because they want to monopolize the time, they want to monopolize the propaganda. So I don't let them talk over me, and I never will. So they'll always fail at that, and I don't care how loud
Thanks,
I have to get.
Tango and
I'm
E-Tuck.
being loud on behalf of the American
Thanks,
people.
Charlie.
All right, now to the core of the issue. Why does Israel enrage me so much? So there's several issues. First of all, I remember growing up thinking, I wonder what I would do if I was growing up in the 1930s and 40s. Would I have tried as hard as I possibly can to fight the Holocaust? And I always thought, I wish I knew, and I would hope that I did, right? Well, unfortunately, we got an opportunity here because there was a genocide.
What the hell is Chink talking about?
In our lifetime. And so I'm fighting as hard as I possibly can to save as many lives as I can. And Israel's not finished. Israel's still bombing Gaza. They're still trying to annex West Bank. There is out of control terrorism in the West Bank by the settlers. And they just invaded Lebanon, and they just caused a war with Iran. I mean, if you can't get upset about that, you're not upset about fascism, you're not upset about over-the-top terrorism, I think everybody should be as angry as me. But those are part of the issue. The other part, Piers, that is so important is that Israel is obviously controlling our politicians and our media here, and the media's gaslighting is unbearable. Propaganda after propaganda for Israel and always on behalf of Israel. Like, for example, they asked this silly question, does Israel have a right to exist? It's not asked of any other country, does Turkey have a right to exist? Does Greece have a right to exist? Well, of course they do. They already exist. But they never ask the question of the country that actually doesn't exist, which is Palestine. Does Palestine have a right to exist? That is the pertinent question. It is asked by approximately zero.
When I said what is Chink talking about, because he said if he existed during the time of the Holocaust, would he have fought against it? So when he says fighting against it, I'm thinking Chink's meaning going to fucking war. And now he's saying that there's an active G going on right now, and he's trying his best to fight against it, which I understand. He's saying as a media personality. Chink's not about to go over there and pick up a damn AR, man, and you know what I'm saying? So that's what I said. What the fuck is Chink talking about? Like, yeah, I get it now. He's saying fight
Zero
as a
times
media
by cable
person.
news anchors in America. None, never. And that is a super weird phenomenon where you keep asking if a country should exist that already does and has Iron Dome and nuclear weapons and the biggest military in the Middle East, but you won't ask the obvious question of shouldn't the Palestinians be allowed to exist? And it's obvious that Israel is not allowing them. Why do we have this overwhelming propaganda? Those are very legitimate questions, and those are things that are enraging a lot of Americans, and I'm just speaking on their behalf.
Okay, so as you know, a lot of people have tried to frame your very regular attacks on Israel as anti-Semitic, a charge that you have always strenuously denied. And for what it's worth, I have never detected, when you come on my show, that what you're saying is driven by a hatred of Jewish people. I think it's driven by a hatred, I think it is a hatred, of the way the Israeli government
Oh, you said The Secret Relationship Between Jews and Blacks by Louis Farrakhan? I haven't read that book. I'll look it up.
Government conducts its.
Right now, chat, I'm reading hold on. I'll tell y'all what I'm reading. Oh yeah. Siblings Without Rivalry. I'm reading Siblings Without Rivalry. I had started Crucial Conversations, but right now I'm reading Siblings Without Rivalry.
And we can come to that in more detail in a minute. But I want to play you a clip, which is what one anti-Semitism campaign group called Canary Mission have highlighted. They say that you've flopped from calling out anti-Semitic tropes and stereotypes to now perpetuating every one of them against Israel. Let's take a look.
Oh, who do you think is really the one responsible? They always say the Jews, because they think, oh, they're the puppet masters. There's anti-Semitic tropes, etc., right? And it's obvious that they control us. And now Trump is out here like a puppet. Yes, I said puppet, and you could suck it. Puppets for Israel. Puppet regimes, Israeli puppet. Yo, you guys like your money. Abby, you can't get any more anti-Semitic than this.
Okay.
Owe me more money. You owe me more money. Give me money. Give me 310 billion isn't enough. The Jews own the media, right? So that's the anti-Semitic trope. This is a control of our media by Israeli forces. The root of all of these theories is always the Jews control the world.
Look at Chink face. Hey, look at Chink face when Pierce brought him back up, bro. Look at Chink face.
Anti-Semitic than this.
Okay.
Owe me more money. You owe me more money. Give me money. Give
Watch
me 310
Chink
billion isn't
face,
enough.
bro.
The Jews own the media, right? So that's the anti-Semitic trope. This is a control of our media by Israeli forces. The root of all of these theories is always the Jews control the world.
Look at his face.
When you
Look at his face, chat. Oh my gosh, bro. He's so shamed right now, chat. Oh my gosh. 57, 56. Hold on. Let me get to it. Let me go to 57, 55, bro. Oh my gosh, chat. Hold on. Man, Chink is so damn shamed, bro.
Control the.
Look at him, chat. There it goes. Look at him, man. Look at how shamed he is, bro. Don't tell me bro played a video, man. Look at how fucking shamed Chink looks, bro. Like, he's biting his lip and everything, bro. He's like, damn, bro. He is so shamed, bro. Like, why did they put that edit together like that? He probably realizes that he talks about it a lot, but not seeing it in that edit, man. Like, that edit made it look really bad, man. And like, damn, bro. Damn, Chink.
Now, Chink, when you watch that, there does seem to be shifting sands between what you're saying originally and what you then say.
Absolutely not. First of all, of course, Canary Mission, I'm really glad you brought them up. So there are these.
You tell me ruin the best part. Tighten up, bro. Well, carry your ass over to Piers Morgan channel and watch it unedited, uncensored, with no commentary, man. If I'm fucking up your flow, shit, go watch the original video, my boy. Damn, I don't know what to tell you, man. Shit.
Israel first thugs in this country. And if you've never experienced it, actually now you have.
Yeah.
Before, when you were for Israel, you never experienced it. Now, once you slightly criticize Israel, you begin to experience it. But what you don't know is that when I go to Muslim American events, they say, we're so happy that you speak out, because if we speak out, we get fired from just regular jobs. Or our businesses get attacked by things like Canary Mission, StopAntisemitism.com. They're not actually trying to stop anti-Semitism. They're trying to stop any criticism of Israel. And so that goes to the heart of that clip as well, which is, we're not conflating Israel and Jews. In fact, on the Young Turks, I've literally said hundreds, maybe thousands of times, guys, this is not about religion. Do not attack Jewish Americans or Jews at all. This is about a country, and every country does, and governments do terrible things.
Chat, I saw a video today that really fucked me up. Excuse me for cussing like that. Hit the like button. Everybody hit the like button right now, man. Right now, everybody hit the like button, man. But I seen a video to where the dude was looking at Google Maps, right? And you know how you can see the satellite and you can zoom all the way in and you can see the actual house. Then you can even go to Google. I mean, of course, they got Google Street View, but you know, I'm talking about the satellite imagery. You know how you can zoom all the way in and see the actual house? But the dude was like, when you zoom all the way out, they show you a cartoon world. They show you the world as a cartoon. How the hell can you zoom all the way in and show me my exact house, but when it comes to the world, some shit that it's not even as detailed. You didn't even have to zoom in that much, man. You make it a cartoon. That's kind of crazy. I'm not gonna lie, Chad. I'm not a flat earther, but that is a little crazy.
The people who actually conflate Israel and Jews are actually people like Canary Mission and all these Israel First groups. And what they're doing is they're hiding behind Jewish civilians. And they're saying, if you criticize Israel at all, that means you hate all Jews. But wait a minute. If we played that game with every country, then we couldn't criticize any country. Oh, if you criticize the Chinese government, you hate all Chinese people. Well, that's absurd. Of course that's not true. If you criticize the Turkish government, you hate all Turkish people. You're anti-Turkist. Well, of course that's not true. So it's not that anybody's picking on Israel, and certainly not on Jewish Americans. It's that we're saying, can we apply the same standard to Israel? And when we say that, they go, oh, no, you're not allowed to apply that same standard to Israel because you're all anti-Semites. And as Brad Schneider, a congressman, Democrat, did today to my nephew, Hassan Piker, he said, and this is a very common trick that Israel First does. Okay, Hassan said things he claims that are anti-Semitic. That's not at all true. But he says it. He says, that's why Abdul El-Said, a Democrat running for office in Michigan, is not allowed to campaign with him, is not allowed to support him. Why do they do that? Isolate Israel's critics and try to pretend that they're toxic and eliminate them from the national conversation so that no one can criticize Israel. This is a game that they've done to average Americans, to people in the media even more vehemently, and to people in politics, so that you eliminate all of Israel's enemies and critics and opponents. And then where is the moral outrage? The moral outrage should be towards this genocide in Gaza, where 72,000 people at a bare minimum have been killed. Over 20,000 children at a bare minimum have been killed. But we're not talking about the slaughter of 20,000 children. Instead, we're talking about, should we condemn the people criticizing the genocide? Should we condemn the people criticizing Israel starting 7 wars, dragging us into a war? No, all of this is a defense of not Jewish people, but of Israel. And the reality is, both me and, by the way, wonderful Jewish Americans like Dave Smith, Glenn Greenwald, Ben Cohen, Jeff Cohen, Robert Greenwald, I can go on and on for hours. So many young Jewish Americans are actually doing something wonderful, which is they're fighting for peace, they're being principled, and they're on the right side, and they're standing up for America, and they're us. So I say that all the time. But they actually think that the bigger problem is people like us who are not anti-Semitic. Because it's easy to say, oh, Nick Fuentes, no one should talk to him because he's clearly anti-Semitic, and all the other charges, right? The problem for them is when they can't show that we're anti-Semitic. So then they take our criticism of Israel and they set up all these landmines, propaganda landmines with tropes. So here, I'll give you an example. So blood libel. Now, blood libel is a terrible anti-Semitic trope from the 18th and 19th century, made up about Jewish people drinking the blood of babies. That's crazy talk, right? But when we criticize Israel actually killing 20,000 children, they say, oh, that's blood libel. But wait a minute, that doesn't have anything to do with blood libel. Nobody's talking about drinking the blood of babies or anything like that. Oh, you're using it in a very callous and disgusting and immoral way to shield the government of Israel from criticism and thereby endangering Jewish people. Because when you actually go to criticize Israel, they go, no, all Jews stand for genocide. That's not true. That's actually a more anti-Semitic statement. So all of this is propaganda in order to protect Israel.
Okay, let me play it. This is a clip from what Douglas Murray, has been one of your biggest critics, what he said on this show, actually, back in December 2023 about you.
You only really get animated if the Jews are involved. And I can tell that for the following reason. I mean, your surname's Uyghur, isn't it? 1 million Uyghur Muslims in China have been put in concentration camps in the last decade. And people of your ilk never really care about that, do you? Because it's not the Jews doing it, it's the Chinese Communist Party. At the moment, 1 million people who are in Pakistan at the moment, who are your fellow Muslims and who happen to be Afghan, and I don't think you care about them, do you? 1 million Afghans are currently being forcibly deported from Pakistan to Afghanistan. You don't care about that. You're not riled up about that. You're not riled up about what the Janjaweed are currently doing in Sudan, where thousands and thousands of people are being attacked by the Islamist militia there. You don't care about any of that. You get exercised and you rile up what little base you have of malcontents because you're riled up when the Jews do anything.
So that is what people think. They think, we watch Cenk a lot, but the thing that really gets him raging is always Israel. Ultimately, it always comes back to one thing. And the point they make about the anti-Semitic tropes is simply that, as that mashup showed earlier, you used to be one of the people who would be very quick to point out the problem of people falling into the trap of reciting anti-Semitic tropes, blaming the Jews for controlling the media, controlling politicians, and so on and so on. And now you seem to have moved to a place where you're openly doing that yourself with conviction.
Chat, everybody hit the like button right quick, man. We're 25 likes away from the next like goal, man. We're having a really good stream right now. Everybody double tap the screen or go to the top, hit the 3 dots, man, and be sure to like the video, chat. We're also 15 subscribers away from the next sub goal. 15 subscribers away. We go live every single day over here talking politics, entertainment, and current events.
Because you presumably believe it to be true.
I'm not.
But I'm not saying I think that. I'm just saying that's what your critics think. But in relation to what Douglas said there, there is a clear pattern. You blow up about Israel. You don't seem to have the same angry fury and rage.
You said which nation ended slavery first? We can debate that, but what I will say as of today, they had a vote. The United Nations had a vote to condemn the transatlantic slave trade, to condemn the enslavement of millions of Africans and the transatlantic slave trade. Only 3 countries voted against it. The USA would not condemn the transatlantic slave trade. Israel would not condemn the transatlantic slave trade, and Argentina would not condemn the transatlantic slave trade. The EU and Europe, and I believe Australia, all they didn't answer. They abstained. They abstained their answer. So it looked like they don't give a fuck about slavery. I'm just gonna be honest with you. They don't give a fuck about it.
About much else other than Israel. Why is it such a particular thing for you?
Yeah, so I'm glad we're addressing this because when you say a lot of people think that it's that I'm blowing up about Israel because it's related to Jewish people, that's actually not true at all. Only Israel First thinks that. The rest of the country doesn't think that at all. The rest of the country is perfectly rational and understands that we can criticize the Israeli government like we criticize any other government. So now, but why do I get so mad about Israel as opposed to the other governments? First of all, that's what Douglas Murray said about me not being exercised about those other things are not at all true. He hasn't watched the Young Turks at all. So, for example, my last name is Uyghur. The Uyghur people in China are being terribly abused. And I do talk about it on the show. In fact, I had the representatives of the Uyghur government in exile on the show to talk about it. They've got them in concentration camps, and I can't stand it. But why do I spend more time railing against Israel than the Chinese, for example, against the Uyghurs? Well, there's a very good reason for that. Because we're not funding the Chinese. We're funding the Israelis. I could yell at the Chinese, and I have, and it doesn't move them at all. I could yell at Hamas or Hezbollah or Al-Qaeda, and they don't care. It doesn't move them at all. And it's not the actions of our government. What I am exercised about, what I'm really mad about, is the actions of our government that we can control. So we're not funding any of the other terrorists or bad nations in the world, but we are funding Israel as they committed genocide. In fact, Joe Biden and Donald Trump gave them a thank you note along with $30 billion extra they gave them in the middle of a genocide. So that was saying, hey, genocide, well done. Here's Jenk's money. Here's an average American's money. Here's a family busting their ass, can't pay the rent or the mortgage in Missouri. You're going to take their money, and you could use it for a genocide. You could use it for wars. You could use it for an endless occupation of the Palestinians and brutalizing all your neighbors. Well, if you're not upset about that, honestly, I think you're really immoral. That is an immoral position, not to be enraged that they're using our government and our money. We have to work harder. We have to go and get a second job, pay more taxes so that Israel can commit more genocides. China's not doing it with our money. In fact, we have to borrow money from China to pay Israel for their genocide and their wars. And then my children and grandchildren have to pay the interest on the money we borrowed from China to give to Israel to commit genocide. That is insanity. In terms of the tropes, what's happening, Piers, is that Israel is hiding behind the tropes. So nobody's saying that Jews control this, that, or the other thing. We're saying there's a lobby in America. By the way, there's a lot of lobbies who control our politicians. So when I say on the Young Turks, as I've said definitely thousands of times, maybe getting into the millions, big pharma, big oil, defense contractors, big banks, etc., all completely control our politicians, and I can prove it. And in fact, that's what I was yelling on the last time. I can prove it. So big pharma says that we're not allowed to negotiate drug prices. That's insane. We live in a so-called free market in capitalism, and we're not allowed to negotiate prices? Why? Because our politicians are deeply corrupt. They're 100% corrupt. So they say, Americans, we don't care if it even kills you. You will pay whatever the drug companies demand because they don't work for us, the politicians. They work for the drug companies. The oil companies are the most profitable companies in the world, but we give them $35 billion in subsidies every year. By the way, that's nearly 10 times what Israel gets. So I am very exercised about that, and I'm furious about that. And I'm not furious at the oil companies in Israel as much as I am furious at our politicians and our media. So when I question Big Pharma and how much money they give to the politicians, I get no pushback. Oil companies, no pushback. But when you get to the Israeli lobby, they want special rules. And they hide behind the tropes. Are you saying that money controls politicians? Yes, I'm definitely saying that. Are you saying Jewish money controls? No, I didn't say Jewish. You said Jewish. No one ever said Jewish. By the way, if the Bolivian lobby was as strong as the Israeli lobby, and they had given billions of dollars to our politicians, then I would be livid with the Bolivian lobby. But it's not the Bolivian lobby. It's not the Malaysian lobby. It is obviously the Israeli lobby. And Piers, can you not see that they are asking for special rules, that you're allowed to criticize every lobby except Israel's?
Well, what I would say about it is, look, as you know, I for a long time after the start of the war in Gaza, I supported Israel's right to defend itself. I then became increasingly concerned and critical the longer it went on, and the more disproportionate I felt Israel's response had become. Interestingly, I've said that Ben Shapiro, the moment I began to get more critical, refused to come on the show anymore or have anything to do with me. And the same's happened with Douglas Murray. He hasn't appeared on our censors since I became more critical of Israel. And I've got a problem with that, with both of them. I like them both. I've always enjoyed interviewing them and debating with them. But I don't see how you can be, as they both are, big supporters and defenders of free speech and sort of self-appointed crusaders of free speech, but shut down debate with people who are becoming more critical of something that you have been supportive of. So to your credit, you always come on. And also to your credit, today we've managed to speak for 20 odd minutes and you haven't shouted at me once. So I think we are moving to a good place here, Cenk. Your spleen has had a better afternoon. Yeah. But my point being that you will debate anyone. That is to your credit. I think I don't know why Douglas won't come back on. I think it's probably for the same reason that Ben Shapiro doesn't, and it's just they don't like people who are vocally critical of what Israel's been doing in the last 3 years. And I don't know anyone who's fair-minded about it or clear-minded about it who can't find things to criticize the Israeli government for. Whilst at the same time, in my case, supporting Israel's right not just to exist, but to defend itself. I know a lot of Israelis, like them very much as a people. I know a lot of Jewish people. And I have to say, all the Israelis and Jews that I know have been saying to me how fair-minded they think this show is, how I get everybody on, they appreciate that. And they themselves are very critical of what their government's been doing, in the main, of all the people I've met. So I don't know why people who profess to be champions of free speech questions. Of course.
All right, man. That's the end of that chat, man. We're about to get up out of here, but I'm gonna take some questions, chat. If y'all have any questions for me, I'm gonna read the chat. Y'all know I try to read the chat every night before we get up out of here, but we got to get 500 likes right quick. We're 20 likes away from 500, man. Everybody double tap the screen. If you've double tapped it already, double tap it again, man. Let's get the 500 likes. If y'all got any questions for me, now is the time, man. Now is the time. That's crazy, man. Chink did have a pretty good episode, man. But that montage of what he was saying, all of that montage was crazy. That he was like, that was crazy. Yeah, Gito, the chat doesn't have to agree with everything, man. Yeah, don't disrespect me though. That's what y'all not gonna do is come in here and disrespect me and my chat. But you don't gotta agree with me at all. You don't gotta agree with me. Thank you, No Nos. Yeah, I try not to just run out of here. I try to, hang out with y'all and actually respond to the chat, actually talk to y'all. I do deal with a lot of trolls, but that's why I try to save the end of the show, to just hang out. You're welcome, J Rose. Yeah, AJ, man, we try to be as free with the speech as YouTube allows us over here, man. We try to be as free with the speech as the YouTube terms of and guidelines allow us to be, man. Yeah, we're 6 likes away from 500. We are 6 likes away from 500. Thank you, what's up? Do I think these wars or any other mass unalivings are tied to some ritualistic sacrifice? I think a lot of it is, man. A lot of it is prophecy. We gotta understand too that like when a lot of these ancient civilizations were unaliving people, like that was tied to sacrifice. They would skin people's heads, they would, cut people's heads off, eat people's hearts, like so yeah, I mean I believe that a lot of this shit might be have some shit going on, honestly. Good night, Matt. Yeah, I think a lot of this shit might have some shit going on. Thanks, Gary. But yeah, man, I think we are in the middle of World War III. I think this week is gonna be a crucial point. We see that Netanyahu wanted to increase strikes. I believe he did increase strikes over the next couple of days. In the middle of Trump trying to negotiate peace deals, we seen Trump say that, hey, we don't want the Iranians to raise up and revolt right now. They'll be murdered in mass. They'll be shot in the streets. And that'll kind of step on Trump's toes because we got to go back to when we initially went in. When we initially started the strikes on Iran this second time, it was because they threatened to hang 800 people. They had cut out the Wi-Fi, and there were reports of up to 32,000 deaths. So it would be counterproductive for Netanyahu to tell the Iranian people to go back out in the streets and start getting unalived in mass again, when that was the whole reason we went over there, was to stop that initially. It's kind of crazy. But we do have that Friday deadline. We do have that Friday deadline. Thank you, Two Letters. And thank you again for all the donations tonight. Thank you, Leland. Thank you, Drip. Thank you, Erica. Thank you, George. Thank you for all the donations tonight. Yeah, chat, we're 2 likes away, man. 2 likes away from the 500. Everybody double tap the screen right quick, man. Everybody hit the like button right now, man, and we'll hit 500 likes. What's up, A? You said they unalived a wrestler. I don't know. Also a lot of the a lot of the state seats locally, a lot of the special elections, the Democrats flipped a lot of the special elections. Did y'all see that? I think Arkansas flipped by like, I think the Democrat in Arkansas won by like 30 points. Shit was crazy. Oh, the wrestler unalived a police officer. I seen something going on with a police officer in Houston earlier, but I didn't look it up. What's up, Angela? You said bottom line, you can't have a religion, have a nuclear weapon, aka ideology, where you take your Bible literally. Well, Sherry, we have to break that comment that you made down because I believe right now that America has nuclear weapons, and as a quote unquote Christian nation, they're taking their religion very seriously as Americans. Like we're talking about Armageddon, the troops are getting speeches that Trump has been anointed by Jesus to lead us into the final battle. We have Israel, they're saying that the red heifer has been sacrificed and they're headed to build the third temple. They keep talking about the holy site being shut down and debris falling on the third temple. So that's two nuclear nations that's taking their religion very seriously. We can get into Russia being Orthodox Christians. We can get into that. It seems like they take their very religion very seriously. We seen Putin come out of them vaults with that 1500 year or however old that shit was, them artifacts. I think they take their Orthodox Christianity pretty seriously over there. Who else? France, I don't know what they're doing. India, Pakistan, I don't really know what they're doing either. I don't know why people hate Islam. I think a lot of people don't like Islam. Because some of the people push it a different kind of way. Like when you have like Islam, like I guess you could say, I don't want to say fake, but they're still adapting, they're still learning. It's kind of like, with Christians that live a certain lifestyle that are still trying to find their way. You got a lot of people in Islam. Islam is the number one growing religion in the prison system. So we got to understand that a lot of people coming out of the prison systems are still trying to adjust, might still have some of their old ways as well. So, and in the black community, I think that it's a little more I would say accepted because you kind of see people who have went through that prison industrial complex and have came home practicing Islam, and maybe it might not be what you believe in, but you see the structure is put in their life. These were probably some really wild people, and now they got, a sense of structure, a sense of discipline, a sense of responsibility in their life. So I guess as being a black Christian from the South, I look at Islam a little differently because I've seen it work for some niggas. I'm just gonna say it. I've seen it work for some niggas. What's up, Don? I don't know, OG. Corey World in here somewhere. Where is MAGA? Corey World in here somewhere. Yeah. Yeah, chat. We've been having some really good chats. Y'all have been doing really good on the light goals. It's really been helping us. get out of this shadow band, man. I'm really proud of y'all, man. It makes me feel good that y'all show up and hang out with me. Y'all are always good sports. It makes it fun to get on live. When I was shadow banned, like fighting through that shadow ban was tough. Don't get me wrong, but one thing that I'm glad about is that we've gotten our core family like tight, you know. So even when we are shadow banned, it's not crazy shadow ban. It's like we'll be shadow banned and still get to like 100 people in here, or 200 people maybe, or we'll be shadow banned and it'll be like 60 people or 70 people, you know. And I am thankful for that. I'm thankful that we don't have any just completely dead shows. I am thankful for that. Good night, what's up? You said don't be an Islamophobe, Daniel. A lot of people are Islamophobes. See, nowadays the difference is back in like after 9/11, it was more of like terrorist. It was more of like, oh, the terrorist, and it wasn't really directed at Islam. Now it's directed not only at the nationalities, but it's directed at Islam. And then I think that's the difference. And like my age group, we didn't take anything serious. Like after 9/11, you got to understand, chat, that I'm in my early 30s. So after 9/11, like my age group, like we understood it, but we didn't take anything serious. Like just think about it. Remember Vine days and early YouTube days? What did they do? The people with the Arabic, the Arab background, a lot of them got on YouTube and made damn terrorist videos, like acting like they throwing backpacks. Run. Y'all remember those videos? Run. Y'all don't remember those videos they were doing, man. I'm being honest, man. We didn't take anything serious, man. We was laughing, man. We was laughing at them videos that they was doing, throwing the backpacks on people and saying run, with the whole turban and damn outfit on. That's my age group. Those were the kids that were in fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh grade when 9/11 happened. They grew up and started making damn skits about the shit. We didn't take anything serious. Now it's not an attack on just the terrorist or the people. It's an attack on the religion. It's Islam as a whole. That's the difference. But yeah, chat, we finna get up out of here, man. I appreciate y'all for rocking with me, man. We'll be back on tomorrow night. We'll have some great topics. Be sure to hit the like button on your way out. Tell a friend to tell a friend. Do not gatekeep this channel. Mods, drop the Discord. If you want to get notified every single time I go live, you can join the Discord or you can put on all post notifications. We do hang out in the Discord. We do weekly calls in the Discord, and we just got, its own community over there, chat. I appreciate y'all for showing up and showing out, man. I'll see y'all on the next one, chat. Good night.